Imagine pouring millions of dollars, countless hours, and endless effort into a construction project,
I'm at Champlain Tower. Something's going on here. You gotta get us out of here.
only to see it crumble or fail in the most spectacular way possible.
We are shocked at the condition of the marble.
There we go.
From towering skyscrapers to massive bridges,
The actual collapse of the world's third largest suspension bridge.
even the most ambitious and impressive structures have experienced catastrophic mistakes that led to disastrous consequences. In this video, we're diving into the biggest construction blunders in history, where engineering errors, overlooked details, and sheer bad luck turned monumental projects into cautionary tales.
But the power of the few sun rays bouncing off that building is making me sweat uncontrollably, now over 50 degrees Celsius.
Get ready for a wild ride through the world of colossal construction failures. Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is often regarded as one of the most famous architectural mistakes in history, yet its tilt has become an iconic feature. When you first look at it, you might think it's a carefully designed masterpiece, but there's one glaring detail: the tilt. The leaning wasn't intentional, but rather the result of a construction flaw. The project began in 1173 with the goal of building a freestanding bell tower for the nearby Pisa Cathedral. However, the problems arose early in the construction process, specifically when they reached the third floor. At this point, the soil underneath the tower became unstable, leading to the tilt. The foundation of the tower, which was only about 3 meters deep, was not strong enough to support the massive structure, and the tower began to lean even before it was halfway finished. This flaw caused construction to halt for nearly a century, due to political unrest and wars. But in an ironic twist, this break allowed the soil to settle. The settling helped prevent an immediate collapse, but the lean became more pronounced as the tower continued to rise. By the time the tower was completed in 1372, the tilt had already become a prominent part of its character. Over the centuries, the angle continued to increase, but the tower still managed to stand. The structure endured numerous restoration efforts, but it wasn't until a large-scale restoration project began in 1993 that significant work was done to stabilize the tower. The project, which continued until 2001, used a series of engineering techniques to reduce the tilt and ensure the tower's future stability. Now it's time for something concerning. Recently in China, an archway collapsed. Although the archway was supposed to be purely scenic, many ceased to climb it. On this faithful day, the structure collapsed, lunged more than 100 people down towards Earth. The true scale of the incident is yet to be known. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know. Lotus Riverside Complex. In 2009, one of the buildings in the Lotus Riverside Complex in Shanghai fell over like a giant domino, creating one of the most dramatic construction failures in modern history. The Lotus Riverside Complex, a modern residential development, was meant to be a symbol of urban progress in Shanghai, with its sleek, high-rise buildings offering luxury living spaces. However, on June 27, 2009, disaster struck when one of the buildings in the complex unexpectedly toppled onto its side. What made this collapse so shocking was that there were no natural disasters like earthquakes involved, just the combined effects of poor construction practices and human error. The building fell due to a serious flaw in its foundation. The issue began during excavation work for an underground garage beneath the building. In the process, large amounts of soil were removed from around the structure. This disruption weakened the foundation of the building, which was already built on unstable ground. As the excavation continued, the soil surrounding the building became too loose to support the massive weight of the structure. Adding to the problem, heavy rains hit the area shortly before the collapse, further destabilizing the ground around the building. The foundation, unable to handle the combined effects of the excavation and the rain-soaked soil, gave way, and the building slowly toppled over onto its side. Remarkably, despite the dramatic nature of the collapse, the building didn't crumble into pieces. It remained largely intact as it tipped over, though it was severely damaged. The fall of the building drew worldwide attention to the dangers of rapid urban development, particularly in cities like Shanghai, where high-rise construction is booming. It highlighted how construction flaws, such as improper excavation techniques and inadequate foundation design, can have catastrophic consequences. The Lotus Riverside collapse became a cautionary tale about the potential hazards of hasty construction in the race to accommodate growing urban populations. Hyatt Regency Walkway Collapse. In 1981, the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Kansas City, Missouri became the site of one of the deadliest building collapses in U.S. history. The hotel, known for its striking atrium with suspended walkways, was designed to impress guests with its architectural beauty. The suspended walkways, hanging from the ceiling above, connected the second and fourth floors and were a prominent feature of the hotel's grand lobby. However, on the night of July 17, 1981, disaster struck during a crowded Friday night dance event. As the festivities were in full swing, the two suspended walkways suddenly gave way, sending dozens of people plummeting to the ground below. A total of 114 people lost their lives, and more than 200 others were injured, many seriously. The collapse became one of the deadliest structural failures in American history, shocking the nation and raising questions about building safety and engineering practices. The cause of the collapse was traced back to a small but critical change made during the construction of the building. Originally, the walkways were designed to be suspended from the ceiling using a single set of hanger rods. However, during the building's construction, the design was altered to use two sets of rods, one for the second-floor walkway and another for the fourth-floor walkway. This modification resulted in doubling the load on the connection points where the rods met the walkways. Unfortunately, the points where the rods connected to the walkways were not designed to bear such an increased load. As a result, these points failed under the weight, causing the walkways to collapse. Aquadom Aquarium Burst. The Aquadom in Berlin, once hailed as the world's largest cylindrical aquarium, was a breathtaking engineering feat and a major tourist attraction. Standing an impressive 8.2 feet tall, the Aquadom was a marvel of design, holding 1,500 tropical fish within its massive acrylic tank. It was located inside the Radisson Blu Hotel, where visitors could marvel at the underwater world as they rode an elevator that passed through the center of the tank. The Aquadom had become a symbol of Berlin's innovative architecture and a popular spot for tourists and locals alike. However, in December 2022, disaster struck when the Aquadom suddenly burst, causing catastrophic flooding in the hotel and the surrounding streets. Millions of liters of water poured out of the tank, flooding the lobby and causing significant damage. The tank's collapse was not caused by an external force like an explosion or earthquake, but by a structural flaw in the acrylic material that made up the aquarium. Over time, the acrylic walls of the tank had developed microfractures, small cracks that were barely visible to the naked eye. These flaws were likely exacerbated by environmental factors, such as temperature fluctuations and the immense pressure exerted by the weight of the water inside the tank. As these microfractures worsened, the structural integrity of the tank weakened until it ultimately gave way. When the Aquadom burst, it caused the deaths of hundreds of tropical fish that had called the aquarium home. The collapse also led to millions of dollars in damages to the hotel and the surrounding area, as the floodwaters wreaked havoc on the building's infrastructure and property. The Aquadom disaster raised significant concerns about the long-term durability of such massive, unique structures. While the aquarium had been a stunning architectural and engineering achievement, its sudden collapse highlighted the risks associated with large, complex installations made from materials like acrylic, which may degrade over time under constant pressure and exposure to environmental stresses. The sinking of the Vasa. In 1628, Sweden's King Gustavus Adolphus commissioned the construction of the Vasa, a grand warship meant to showcase the power and might of the Swedish Navy. The Vasa was intended to be one of the most formidable ships of its time, boasting an impressive array of cannons and a majestic design that reflected the nation's aspirations. However, the ship's maiden voyage turned into one of the most infamous maritime disasters in history. On August 10, 1628, the Vasa set sail from the docks in Stockholm, but within just 1,300 meters of leaving port, disaster struck. The ship began to lean uncontrollably to one side, and before anyone could react, the Vasa capsized and sank. Despite being an imposing and heavily armed vessel, the ship was tragically unstable. The reason for this was a critical design flaw. The Vasa was top-heavy. Too much weight was placed in the upper decks, and there was insufficient ballast in the lower sections of the ship to counterbalance it. This imbalance, coupled with a sudden gust of wind, was enough to cause the ship to tilt beyond its tipping point. The Vasa's designers had ignored the instability during construction, focusing more on grandeur and firepower than on fundamental engineering principles like weight distribution and balance. The ship's excessive height and the lack of proper ballast in the lower parts of the ship made it prone to tipping over. Within minutes of setting sail, the Vasa sank, taking the lives of dozens of crew members who were aboard the ship. The tragic event was a stark reminder of the dangers of neglecting engineering fundamentals in favor of ambition and pride. For over 300 years, the wreckage of the Vasa remained at the bottom of Stockholm's harbor. It wasn't until 1961 that the ship was finally recovered and painstakingly preserved. The Vasa, now housed in a museum, stands as a powerful symbol of the consequences of ignoring critical engineering principles. Its recovery serves as a reminder that no matter how grand or impressive a project may be, without proper design and attention to safety, even the most majestic creations can meet a disastrous end. Teton Dam Disaster. The Teton Dam in Idaho was an ambitious and cutting-edge project when it was completed in the 1970s. The dam was designed to control flooding, provide irrigation, and supply water to the region, making it a crucial piece of infrastructure for local communities. Built using compacted layers of soil and rock, the dam was considered state-of-the-art for its time. However, on June 5, 1976, disaster struck when the dam failed catastrophically, resulting in one of the most devastating engineering failures in American history. The incident began when the dam's reservoir reached full capacity for the first time. As the water levels rose, small leaks began to form in the dam. At first, these leaks were manageable, and efforts were made to seal them, but the situation quickly escalated. Despite the repairs, the dam's integrity continued to deteriorate. Just hours later, the dam suffered a massive breach, releasing more than 250,000 acre-feet of water into the downstream areas. The resulting flood was devastating, particularly for the towns of Wilford and Rexburg, which were inundated by the rushing water. The floodwaters destroyed homes, businesses, and infrastructure, and tragically, 11 people lost their lives in the disaster. The damage was so severe that it was estimated to cost billions of dollars to repair. The event also caused widespread environmental damage, with farmland and livestock being swept away by the flood. The root cause of the Teton Dam disaster lay in a combination of poor construction techniques and the use of highly porous rock in the dam structure. The porous rock allowed water to seep through, weakening the dam from within. The leaks and the infiltration of water further destabilized the dam, ultimately leading to its catastrophic failure. While the dam's design had been considered advanced at the time, the materials used and the lack of adequate oversight and maintenance led to its collapse. Sampoong Department Store collapse. The Sampoong Department Store in Seoul, South Korea was once a symbol of the country's rapid economic growth during the 1990s. The department store, built in 1987, was meant to be a beacon of prosperity, reflecting the dynamic transformation of South Korea's urban landscape. Originally, the building was designed as a 4-story office block. However, during construction, the plans were changed to accommodate a 5-story luxury department store. This seemingly simple decision to expand the building ended up having disastrous consequences. To fit the new design, several critical support columns were removed from the structure. In addition to this structural change, a heavy air conditioning unit was placed on the roof of the building, adding substantial weight that the foundation was not designed to handle. These alterations severely weakened the building's integrity, compromising its ability to bear the loads it was subjected to. The building showed signs of distress well before the eventual collapse. In the months leading up to the disaster, cracks began appearing in the walls and floors, a clear indication that the structure was struggling to support the changes made to it. Despite these alarming signs, the building's owners and management chose to ignore the cracks, opting not to take any corrective action. Negligence in addressing these issues would prove to be fatal. On June 29, 1995, the Sampung department store tragically collapsed. The disaster resulted in the deaths of 502 people, with nearly 1,000 more injured. It was one of the deadliest building collapses in modern history, and the aftermath of the collapse was a sobering reminder of the consequences of cutting corners in construction. Investigations revealed that the collapse was largely due to poor safety standards, disregard for engineering principles, and an overwhelming sense of greed and negligence. The tragedy highlighted the deadly risks of not adhering to proper construction protocols, the importance of maintaining strict safety regulations, and the dangers of making hasty changes to architectural plans without considering the long-term structural effects. Hard Rock Hotel collapse. The Hard Rock Hotel in New Orleans was designed to be a glamorous addition to the city's vibrant skyline, with plans for a rooftop bar and pool deck offering breathtaking views of the city. Construction of the hotel began in 2018, and as the project neared completion in 2019, excitement grew for the new luxury landmark. However, on October 12, 2019, disaster struck when the upper floors of the building suddenly collapsed. The collapse resulted in the tragic deaths of 3 workers, with several more injured in the incident. The cause of the collapse was traced back to a series of cost-cutting measures during the construction process. One of the key structural issues involved the steel beams on the 16th and 17th floors. In an attempt to accommodate higher ceilings for the hotel's design, the construction team opted to use thinner steel beams, which were not capable of supporting the weight they were expected to carry. This decision, made in the name of reducing costs, directly compromised the structural integrity of the building. As the weight from the upper floors built up, the thinner steel beams were unable to bear the load, ultimately leading to their catastrophic failure. The building's upper floors crumpled, sending debris falling down through the lower levels and causing significant damage. The collapse sent shockwaves through the construction industry, raising concerns about the safety practices employed on the project and the risks of cutting corners to save money. Following the collapse, investigations revealed that the failure of the steel beams was not the only issue with the building's construction. There were also reports of insufficient oversight and a lack of proper safety measures for workers. The tragedy highlighted the dangers of prioritizing cost savings over structural safety and design integrity. As a result, the Hard Rock Hotel collapse led to a broader review of building safety standards, particularly in New Orleans and other urban areas with large-scale construction projects. Walkie-talkie. In 2014, London's Walkie-Talkie Building, officially known as the 20 Fenchurch Street skyscraper, gained notoriety for a highly dangerous and unexpected issue. The building's distinctive design, with its concave glass facade, quickly became a source of both admiration and concern. While the shape of the building was meant to make it stand out, it inadvertently became a giant mirror that focused sunlight onto the streets below, creating intense, concentrated beams of heat. The problem was that the concave design acted like a massive magnifying glass, reflecting sunlight in a way that intensified the heat. This focused sunlight was so powerful that it melted parts of a Jaguar car parked on the street below. The heat was also strong enough to scorch nearby buildings and cause damage to street signs, paving, and other surfaces. In some cases, the temperatures on the street reached an astonishing 243 degrees Fahrenheit, far exceeding the typical heat of a sunny day in London. Londoners quickly began to refer to the building as the Fry Scraper, due to the extreme heat it caused. The glare from the building even made it difficult for pedestrians to walk near the affected areas without feeling the intense heat. The public outcry was swift, and the building's architects and developers were forced to take emergency measures to resolve the situation. To address the problem, sunshades were installed on the building to deflect the sunlight and reduce the intense glare that had caused such chaos. While the design of the Walkie-Talkie Building was undeniably striking and visually unique, it became clear that the building's form had overlooked a critical engineering flaw. The intense heat caused by the concave glass facade not only caused immediate damage, but also raised concerns about the long-term impact on the surrounding environment and infrastructure. While the building's design was eye-catching, its flaw made it a prime example of how even the most daring architectural statements can lead to dangerous consequences when not properly thought through. The collapse of Tacoma Narrows Bridge. The collapse of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, affectionately known as Galloping Gertie, on November 7, 1940, remains one of the most infamous engineering failures in history. Designed by engineer Leon Moisseiff, the bridge incorporated the latest advancements in suspension bridge theory, boasting a sleek and modern design that aimed to save costs while providing an efficient route for motorists. However, just 4 months after its opening, disaster struck. On that fateful day, winds of 40 miles per hour caused the bridge to twist violently, with the deck moving like a ribbon in the wind. This unexpected behavior created a dangerous instability in the structure, which was unable to withstand the force. The bridge's design, which was considered innovative at the time, turned out to have a critical flaw. It was too aerodynamic. The lightweight structure, combined with the lack of proper measures to prevent aerodynamic instability, caused the bridge to oscillate uncontrollably. The relentless movement led to the bridge's eventual collapse into the cold waters of Puget Sound. The disaster, while tragic, proved to be a turning point in bridge engineering. Investigations into the collapse revealed that the lack of damping systems and the bridge's unique aerodynamic properties had created the conditions for such a failure. The lessons learned from this event significantly influenced future suspension bridge designs, prompting engineers to incorporate better wind resistance measures and more robust structural elements. The collapse of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge highlighted the need for a deeper understanding of aerodynamics and the importance of ensuring stability in suspension bridges. The Aon Center's Marble Crisis. The Aon Center in Chicago, originally known as the Standard Oil Building, serves as a striking example of how luxurious materials can sometimes lead to disastrous results in architecture. Completed in 1973, the building was designed to stand out with its sleek, modern appearance, and its exterior was clad in Italian Carrara marble, a material known for its beauty and elegance. However, within just 1 year of its completion, the marble began to show signs of severe distress. Cracks appeared across the facade, and in some cases, entire panels of marble weighing over 300 pounds detached and fell to the ground below, posing a significant risk to pedestrians. The culprit behind the marble's failure was Chicago's extreme climate. The city experiences drastic temperature changes with hot summers and frigid winters. These fluctuations cause the marble to expand and contract, putting immense pressure on the material. Over time, this constant shifting weakened the marble, leading to cracks and detachment. Despite efforts to make temporary fixes, such as reinforcing the panels, the problem continued to worsen. In the early 1990s, after several failed attempts at patching the marble, a decision was made to completely refinish the building's exterior. The original Carrara marble was replaced with more durable Mount Airy granite, a material better suited to withstand Chicago's harsh weather conditions. The costly project, which amounted to $80 million, was more than half the original price of the building itself. The Aon Center's marble crisis highlights the importance of selecting the right materials for a building's environment. While Carrara marble is prized for its aesthetic qualities, it was not suitable for the challenges posed by Chicago's climate. The building's refacing serves as a reminder that structural integrity should always take precedence over appearances in architectural design. This crisis ultimately resulted in significant changes to construction practices, demonstrating the critical need for careful consideration of materials when constructing buildings in extreme environments. Sydney Opera House, a dream turned nightmare. The Sydney Opera House, one of the most iconic structures in the world, had a long and troubled journey to completion. Initially planned to take 4 years and cost $7 million Australian dollars, the project dragged on for 14 years and ended up costing over 100 million Australian dollars, almost 1,300% more than originally planned. Designed by Danish architect Jørn Utzon, the Opera House featured an innovative design, particularly its unique sail-shaped concrete shells. These shells posed significant engineering challenges, and the project required frequent redesigns, pushing the limits of technology at the time. Utzon's resignation in 1966 due to political disputes and internal conflicts further delayed the project. The interior design, particularly the acoustics, was left unfinished, and the building was infamous for poor sound quality when it opened in 1973. This problem led to a major renovation in recent years, costing nearly 300 million Australian dollars to install new acoustic panels and improve the building's sound quality. Despite the tumultuous process, the Sydney Opera House remains a UNESCO World Heritage Site, symbolizing both the challenges and triumphs of modern architecture. The shocking collapse of the Seongsu Bridge. The collapse of the Seongsu Bridge in Seoul, South Korea, on October 21, 1994, remains one of the most tragic reminders of the dangers associated with rapid urban development and neglected infrastructure. At the time of the disaster, the bridge, which had been constructed in 1979, was a critical part of the city's transportation network. Originally designed to accommodate 880,000 vehicles daily, the bridge was carrying over 160,000 vehicles per day by the early 1990s, more than double its intended capacity. This overwhelming increase in traffic put immense strain on the structure, which was not designed to handle such a volume of vehicles. On the fateful day of the collapse, a 48-meter section of the Seongsu Bridge gave way during rush hour. Vehicles, including a bus, plunged into the Han River below, resulting in the deaths of 32 people and injuring 17 others. The collapse occurred despite several warnings. Just hours before the disaster, reports had surfaced about visible cracks in the bridge, but no immediate action was taken to address these issues. Investigations into the cause of the collapse revealed a combination of factors, including faulty construction and poor welding of critical components. Rusted pins and a lack of regular maintenance also contributed to the bridge's failure. These structural weaknesses had been gradually building over time, and the added strain of increased traffic made the collapse inevitable. The disaster underscored the dangers of cutting corners in construction and failing to prioritize the long-term safety of infrastructure projects. The Seongsu Bridge collapse was a wake-up call for South Korea, prompting significant reforms in the country's construction regulations. In the aftermath of the disaster, the government implemented stricter standards for infrastructure projects and instituted more frequent inspections and maintenance schedules. These changes aim to prevent similar tragedies in the future, highlighting the critical need for careful planning, regular upkeep, and safety in urban development. Rana Plaza disaster, a building's fatal flaws. The Rana Plaza disaster, which occurred on April 24, 2013 in Bangladesh, remains one of the deadliest industrial accidents in history. The 8-story building, located near the capital city of Dhaka, housed 5 garment factories producing clothing for well-known Western brands. The building, originally designed for commercial use with shops and offices, was never intended to support the heavy machinery required for garment production. Despite this, factory owners converted the structure to house factories, adding 4 illegal floors without the necessary permits or structural considerations. Just one day before the collapse on April 23rd, cracks were observed in the building's walls. However, under immense pressure to meet production deadlines, the factory owners ignored these signs of structural failure and ordered workers to return to work the next day. This reckless decision set the stage for the catastrophic collapse. At 8:57 a.m. on April 24, 2013, the building gave way. The structure, weakened by substandard construction materials and built on unstable land, crumbled to the ground. In the aftermath, 1,134 people lost their lives, and more than 2,500 were injured. The majority of the victims were garment workers, many of whom were trapped inside the building when it collapsed. The sheer scale of the tragedy shocked the world and brought attention to the dangerous working conditions faced by millions of garment workers, particularly in countries like Bangladesh, where safety regulations were often lax. Investigations into the disaster revealed that the building's structural integrity had been compromised from the start. It was built on land that was not stable enough to support the weight of the added floors, and substandard materials were used throughout its construction. These factors, combined with the illegal modifications, led to the building's fatal collapse. In response to the disaster, the Rana Plaza collapse led to a significant shift in workplace safety standards. In 2013, the Bangladesh Accord on Fire and Building Safety was created, a legally binding agreement aimed at improving working conditions and ensuring safety in garment factories across Bangladesh. The agreement brought together brands, trade unions, and NGOs, and it focused on ensuring proper safety inspections, fire protection, and structural improvements in the country's garment industry. Though the tragedy was devastating, it prompted crucial reforms that sought to protect the lives of workers and prevent future disasters in the global garment industry. Champlain Towers South, a catastrophic failure. The collapse of Champlain Towers South in Surfside, Florida, on June 24, 2021, was a tragedy that shocked the nation and devastated the community. The 12-story condominium, completed in 1981, was once a desirable place to live, known for its oceanfront views and prime location. The building was constructed with steel-reinforced concrete, which was expected to ensure its long-term stability. However, beneath the surface, hidden structural issues had been deteriorating the integrity of the building for years. Reports as early as 2018 raised concerns about significant issues with the building's structure. These included water intrusion from the pool deck, which led to corrosion of the steel reinforcements beneath the concrete. This corrosion weakened the building's structural elements, making it more vulnerable to failure. Additionally, the building was constructed on reclaimed wetlands, an unstable foundation that contributed to subsidence or gradual sinking of the structure over time. Despite these warning signs, necessary repairs were not made promptly, and the building continued to deteriorate. At 1:22 a.m. on June 24, 2021, the unthinkable happened. In less than 12 seconds, the building collapsed in a catastrophic failure. The collapse left 98 people dead and many more injured, with scores of residents and families affected by the tragedy. The rapid and complete collapse of the building highlighted the critical importance of timely maintenance and inspections for aging structures. The Champlain Towers South disaster became one of the deadliest building collapses in U.S. history and brought urgent attention to the issues of structural safety and building code enforcement. The tragedy led to a national reckoning on the need for stricter regulations and more frequent inspections of older buildings, especially those in coastal and flood-prone areas. In the aftermath, calls for better monitoring of building conditions and faster response to maintenance needs have grown, as communities and authorities work to ensure such a disaster does not happen again. As we conclude today's journey through the biggest construction mistakes in the world, it's staggering to think about the enormous impact these errors had on our built environment. From bridges that swayed into disaster to skyscrapers that
we've been together 13 years, bro. 13 of them things, bro. Since 2012. Hell yeah. We done did a lot, been through a lot. Just don't give up, bro. That's the best advice I can give anybody. It's times where you feel me, you feel like fuck it. Like it is what it is. I could do this shit by myself. Send me that shit. Or text me, cause I thought I just texted you. And I guess I didn't, so a block. Oh shit. Hey bro, we gotta get on hold on. You gotta put me on game on how to make some motherfucking videos. I ain't even seen this shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm about to turn that bitch on right here. Bam.
The highly anticipated trailer for College Football 26 dropped a few days ago. I'm finally home from Orlando, so let's take a closer look at the trailer. Let's point out some specifics, and as the days go on, we're going to be able to talk a lot more about this game. They did kind of tell us to not get too specific on some of the things we saw just yet, because they kind of want us to wait for the deep dives. However, I've seen writers putting stuff out. There's even been some people that have tweeted stuff, so I will comment on some little things that people have put out. I just tend to try to listen. I don't want to speak on things if they don't want me to speak on them just yet, but just know that pretty much every week leading up to this game, and even Madden for that fact, if you're interested in Madden, there's going to be pretty much a deep dive like every week on a different...
Just the fact they got the coaches in this motherfucker is crazy. Like, look at this shit. Like, just the fact they got the coaches. Ryan Day right there, right? Like, Michigan State. They quarterback was our quarterback at the school I coach at 2 years ago. Look at this shit, them coming out the tunnel. Like, that's fire, man. LSU. The high school shit. Look. Look at this shit. The presentation should be fire. If they went back and did like the ESPN shit, the ESPN graphics with this shit would be fire. College Game Day with this shit would be fire. With the crowd interacting with the crowd signs. If they could create a fan on here like before, that's Escape. That was Escape. That play call. That would be extremely fire.
Trailer for College Football 26 dropped a few days ago. I'm finally home from Orlando, so let's take a closer look at the trailer. Let's point out some specifics, and as the days go on, we're going to be able to talk a lot more about this game. They did kind of tell us to not get too specific on some of the things we saw just yet, because they kind of want us to wait for the deep dives. However, I've seen writers putting stuff out. There's even been some people that have tweeted stuff, so I will comment on some little things that people have put out. I just tend to try to listen. I don't want to speak on things if they don't want me to speak on them just yet, but just know that pretty much every week leading up to this game, and even Madden for that fact, if you're interested in Madden, there's going to be pretty much a deep dive like every week on a different part of either of those games. So we're going to have a lot of info to be covering over the next month to 2 months. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe with the bell icon on so you don't miss those important updates, because we're going to be getting a ton of it flooding, pretty much daily at this point. Also, another thing that was just surprisingly revealed on Twitter a few days ago is not only is there going to be a beta for Madden, which we did expect, although we haven't seen any signups for it yet, there's also going to be a beta for College 26, which I was not expecting. Apparently, some of the VIP people for both games, I don't really know what VIP means. I guess maybe people that have just spent a lot of time on the game. I don't know. People have been posting emails saying that they are eligible for the beta for College and Madden 26. It said, keep an eye on your inbox when the betas start and get ready to hit the field early. So definitely be checking your emails pretty soon, because a College 26 beta is going to be coming sometime soon. I'm not sure if they're going to give me copies to give away. Usually with betas they do. So if you want to follow me on my social medias on screen, if I do get them to give away, that's where I will be doing it. That is the easiest place for me to do it. I'm not guaranteeing that I will get it. In the past, usually I do, so I'll try to get you guys some copies if I can, but I don't think this is a situation where there's going to be a sign up. It doesn't appear that way. It just appears that they're going to be giving them to people that have maybe just played the game a lot and maybe giving some away, if I had to guess. So let's take a look at the trailer. Obviously, the first thing you kind of saw in the trailer and throughout are the light shows, the drone shows for home team. So they just added a little bit more presentation there. Nothing really crazy, but any little bit of presentation that they're going to tack onto the game, every year adding a little bit more here and there. I think all of us will take that. It just makes the game better and better each time, adding those little details onto the game. Now, when they had Clemson running off the bus, ironically, I saw a lot of people thinking this was stupid because they said, well, players don't get off the bus in full pads. Well, Clemson does before the game. This is a Clemson thing, and they're a pretty big team. So just thought that was kind of funny, but, that is a real thing they do. Another thing that they kind of focused on in this trailer is you see, real coaches and stuff like that. We know that they're going to be in the game. Now, one thing I do know is that it's not going to be every single coach, but that's just simply because some coaches don't want to be in the game. I think most of them are, because they even said on their site they have over 300, and that's going to include, I'm guessing, coordinators and stuff like that as well, because there's only 136 teams, so do the math. But just as an example, Bill Belichick was never in Madden. He never wanted to be, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's not in this game either. I don't know why he would change his mind all of a sudden. So most of the coaches should be there, but there's always those few that just don't want to be in the game or don't want to work with EA for whatever reason. Another thing I saw people note at parts of the video is it looks like the spats on the cleats are not as crazy as they had been in years past. They tend to be pretty thick on the cleats, and a lot of people don't like that. So it looks like maybe they've added some slimmer options there. But as far as equipment goes, I will say I didn't really notice a lot of new equipment in the trailer. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be some there, but just nothing that really stood out to me, like hanging mouthpieces, for example. We also got a glimpse at some high school that we know is going to be in the game. We're seeing, kind of a generic stadium, which I also think that could mean we can get some generic stadiums now for Team Builder, which would be pretty cool. Definitely want a stadium creator at some point, but I think at least generic is better than having to use other school stadiums, which we had to do last year. And it seems like on this trailer, much like last year, they did focus on a lot of the pregame and traditions. So what we're kind of seeing here, maybe if this is your first year playing or you didn't notice some of this last year, they definitely added more like signature runouts for teams, because last year they had a bunch for the big teams, but there were others that were still a little generic. So you could see more runouts, more mascots that weren't in the game last year. So you're seeing like the Texas Tech runout. You're also seeing more band formations on the field. Now, I know that Ohio State had it last year. I don't really think any other team had it, not that I can remember, but you notice in the trailer they're showing some more of that, and I think they even mentioned that on their site. So expect to see a lot more involvement from the band, seeing those different band formations, whether it's at halftime or whatever the case may be, maybe before the game, depending on how they do it. Obviously, Enter Sandman was in the trailer, so I mean that's a pretty big get. We wanted that last year. We know we had it this year. I think they even also mentioned it on their site. But expect other music in the game this year, quite a bit more. Last year, I think they had like maybe 4 to 5 licensed songs, which was cool. I mean, I'll take anything we can get in that department, because I know that licensing music is not always easy. Sometimes certain artists or bands just want way too much money. Sometimes it's just a thing where they don't want to be involved. Sometimes some bands and artists just don't license their music out as much. But it looks like this year we got a lot more. In fact, somebody put out some information on this, and I didn't really want to speak on it because I thought this was like kind of like more of a big surprise thing, but I've seen multiple people now put this info out, so it's really not news anymore. But in one article it said, speaking of real songs, Enter Sandman for Virginia Tech was the big one as evident in the trailer, but it also added Mr. Brightside at Michigan, Seven Nation Army, Fiend by Travis Scott, I'm Shipping Up to Boston at Notre Dame, and 2001 A Space Odyssey for South Carolina's intro, among others. So I think there are even more than this that were added to the game, and I believe like the bands and stuff like that will also be playing along these songs at times, so it might not be like the song itself, but it's the band version of the song in some situations, and the crowd will sing along to it. So I mean, just kind of upping the presentation. We're seeing like some of that displayed in the trailer, but some people have put that info out. I think people will be excited for that, because it's just, if you're a fan of Michigan and you hear Mr. Brightside, I mean, how does that not get you hyped? Like, that's how it feels when you go to the game. So cool that they're adding more of that into the game, because that was maybe one area where we thought, hey, maybe we can get some more of these songs and things over the years. I did notice also like a decent little bit of military stuff shown in the trailer. So, we had some involvement with that last year. Maybe they're hinting here at some more involvement with that this year, because they kind of made it, a decent little part of the trailer in some spots. Obviously, we got to look at some of the mascots that are now in the game. Again, more new runouts that we're seeing. So, like to see that. Now, then we get to some gameplay stuff. And one thing I've realized with EA over the years is when they're showing you something in the trailer, it's something they want you to pay attention to. And sometimes things can just look like the same from last year, or it could look like just another animation that they're just kind of throwing in there. Maybe one that you think you've seen before, maybe one that you even have seen before. But a lot of times, or especially with college the last couple of years, when they're showing you certain clips, to me, that means they want you to focus on what this actually means. So when you see Bryce Underwood break, this tackle behind the line of scrimmage, when he spins out of it, it's one of two things. It's either just a canned animation, like a scripted animation that plays at random, or it's something you can actually do. And when it comes to the college team especially, if they're showing you something, I'm kind of repeating myself a bit here, but if they're showing you this, probably means that it's something you can actually do yourself. So we know in the past you've been able to have ball carrier moves behind the line of scrimmage. Some years they put it in, some years they've taken it out because they try to change the system up a little bit, and either that or people just weren't using it. But if I'm looking at this, I'm saying that's something they want us to see. And then immediately you go into the catch. Not sure if that's a new catch animation completely, but they show him reaching out for the pylon. There's also another clip or two in here where they're showing a player reach out the ball. That's something you can do in the game. It's triggered automatically, but they're showing it quite often in this trailer for the limited gameplay clips that they show. Probably something to pay attention to. What could that mean? If it's already a canned animation in the game, why are they showing it multiple times? Think about what that could possibly mean. So now we're moving on. You're seeing a lot of hits. We do know that they kind of added the physics system to the game. They said it on their site. Boomtech and Madden last year, there were good parts of it. There were parts that were still a little janky, and I've covered EA for so many years now, and one thing that's always been evident anytime they do anything big with gameplay, whether it be physics, it's a throwing system, a movement system, always better in year 2, always way better in year 2. Year 1, it'll be okay, maybe it'll be awful, but it's usually never great in year 1. It's usually kind of the beginning stages. Year 2, it's always way more polished. So a good time for it to come to college is in year 2 because it's definitely going to be a lot more polished. And I don't think it's exactly 1-to-1 to how it was in Madden. There's definitely some tweaks to it there, but that's why they're kind of showing some of the big hits and the tackles in the trailer. Another thing we saw a lot of in this trailer was turnover celebrations. Now, we had a decent amount of those in the game last year, but just judging off the trailer, it looks like they added a ton of new ones. We see Rice, we see Georgia, the unique one here for Arizona where they stab the ball after the turnover. So they take the ball from you and they stab the ball. They pretty much kill it like it's theirs now. And you'll notice when they're doing their celebration here, there's 2 balls on the sword and they're stabbing the third one, and that's something that's unique to what they do. Every time they get a turnover, they just kind of add the ball onto the sword. So I think probably maybe the most unique turnover celebration in college football, and that's now in the game along with a bunch of others. So like I said, last year we had a decent amount, but they've added more on this year, which is pretty cool. You know, then they're showing some more Arch Manning gameplay. Of course, they're showing some new plays, which I assume they're new plays because they've added, I don't know, over 2,700 new plays to the game. So they're kind of just showing us a little glimpse of it there, but kind of one of those things, it doesn't really mean much until you play yourself because you can't even really see what the full play even is. But they're definitely just kind of showing you some of that with the motion, showing more tackles, more reaching out again for the ball, showing some DB play. They did mention that defense would be improved for the DB play this year, that, you know, they would attack the ball more if their eyes are on it. So they're showing the best safety in college football doing just that. And here was one of the more interesting things in the trailer because we didn't have this last year when they're showing the QB here kind of grabbing at his shoulder, winding it up. And they also mentioned on the site that wear and tear is going to be, you know, even bigger this year than it was last year. To me, this looks like wear and tear actual animations now, which I think is super cool because wear and tear is a system I think is a great thing that they added to the game. That's something that football games had been missing because it's such a real component to real life. But now if they're adding animations to that, so say your QB's shoulder's hurting, or, you know, you have a running QB and he tweaks his ankle and he's kind of, you know, kicking around his ankle a little bit, or same for a receiver moving certain body parts, or a running back moving certain body parts. That's cool because not only is wear and tear an actual thing, but you're visually seeing it on the field now. You're seeing players, you know, kind of playing through that pain, which is cool. Another shot that is, I think, super important is when they show this broadcast cam and you're seeing the Oregon players and how they're moving around and all this stuff. That was something that was added to Madden last year, and it makes the game look so much more realistic. And I was like, why isn't this in college? I thought that was kind of weird that they added it to only Madden. So when you're playing the game now, whether you're watching from the side or you're just using the regular Madden cam that you normally use, you're going to see the players pre-play talking to each other on defense, you know, moving their hands, doing hand signals. You're going to see, you know, cornerbacks starting to kind of drift back a little bit into their stance or come up into their stance if they're pressing. Pre-play, you're seeing them communicate and move around. And honestly, a small thing that just makes the game look more realistic, because typically they just kind of break the huddle and just stand completely still, and it's not something that really matters until you see it done the other way and you realize, oh, this looks so much cleaner. This actually looks like, you know, more like I'm watching a real game. So glad that they have added that. If you didn't play Madden, this is something you're unfamiliar with, but this was in Madden. Glad to see that they added to the game. Here's another one, the coaches, right? So we talked about coaches being in the game, but notice what they're wearing. All the coaches were pretty generic in both Madden and college. They would just kind of all wear the same things or one of two things, and that was a big talking point, was why don't the coaches, you know, wear what they wear in real life? Obviously, we didn't have the real coaches in college, but still, you could still have the generic ones kind of mimic those coaches a little better, or just for your own created coaches. You know, why don't we have more gear? Well, just look at the trailer, look at what coaches are wearing, and, you know, just think about that for a second. Might be a lot more coach customization this year. And then it just kind of ends off with the cover boys doing some crazy plays, you know, some new animations. They're also showing a lot of trophies. Remember that last year, all the physical rivalry trophies were not in the game. We're seeing some of them here. We're going to probably have a lot more trophies in the game. And we do know Trophy Case is actually in the game as well. So I think that's kind of a double play right there. We're going to be having a ton of info coming. It's going to be a ridiculous amount that's going to be flooding very soon for both games. So you're not going to want to miss it. If you want to know all of the early details for College Football 25, make sure to check out this video right here on the screen.
It looked like that shit going to be fire.
So look, bro, happy Hyundai, CGITB, consistent ghost in the building. Y'all can't say I've been, what you mean, ghost? I only seen you upload like 3 videos. Hey, I keep telling y'all all the time, just because you don't see a video over here don't mean that I don't have them on the other channels. We got 7 channels, squad. We got one with almost 3 million. Ghost Gang on top. This one got 1 million. Ghost Gang on top. The other one got 500,000. Ghost Gang on top. Other one got 500,000. Ghost Gang on top. Other one got 400K. Ghost Gang on top. The other one. No, get over there, squad. Get over there, man. Y'all know how I get up in the winter. Just something about it. It be giving me my little... I just like to be on YouTube, bro. Other than that, this video looks like it's finna be dope. Get what you need to relax in. Let's kick it for a minute. Y'all ain't doing shit. Y'all not. That's why you hit the video and you see your notification like, oh, my boy Ghost uploaded. Like, yeah, my boy, so click the video.
I didn't even get out the door. Like, I ain't put
Let's go.
Or nothing. He just, like, kind of manhandled me.
On May 10th, 2022, while on duty at a department store, an officer was notified of a shoplifting in progress.
Why he on duty at a department store is what I want to know.
How you doing, man? Too late.
Well, you know you caught, squad. It ain't no way in hell somebody first, he wasn't on duty. LP, Loss Prevention, called the police like, look, this black bitch in here is stealing, bro. Y'all want to come get her real quick? She seen the police and said, I'll put it down. One thing about this, that she can beat, bro. And I promise y'all, I tell y'all this loss prevention all the time because I used to work at Walmart when I used to, bro, loss prevention used to be fun. I used to work up at receiving, but if they need some help, I'm helping. Ghost, use the police. If that's what you wanted, bro, that was the funnest in my life. I'm not even. Anyway, in order for it to be deemed stealing, look, you could walk around the whole store, put the whole store in your pocket, left pocket, right pocket, back pocket, in your purse. But it's not considered stealing until you leave the store. You know what I'm saying? You could say, I was gonna pay for it, or some stores got it, it's not considered stealing until you walk past the cash register. You get what I'm saying? So, all depending on how they get out, she look like she could beat this.
On May 10th,
she put it down real quick.
While on duty at a department store,
she put it down real quick.
An officer was notified of a shoplifting in progress.
Oh, he was notified.
How you doing, man? Too late.
Don't do it. How you gonna run back in the store?
Stop. Don't make it worse than it already is.
Yeah, you going to jail.
I don't care.
Bro, why she look like your dog when you try to get her back in the house? Y'all got dogs, bro, where you be like, come in the house. It's like, they go back 2 steps, and then they come forward 2 steps, and then they run in the circle before they get in the house. They be playing with you like, get your... Why she running around like that, bro? She not even going nowhere.
It already is, ma'am.
You not going nowhere.
I don't care.
My nigga not even chasing her. He just walking after her.
Metro, she's running from me. Start them quick. She's in the store still.
Bro, how you can't get her? Like, let's be real. How you, these police officers be out of shape? And she shook you. This nigga like 280 pounds, 55 years old, bro.
We're out back in the parking lot still.
My nigga is running,
still running
in reverse. This is sad. He's so tired, he can't even.
Get away from me! Get away from me!
You catching more charges, man.
Get away from me!
Actually, she ain't doing nothing because you ain't doing nothing. I can see she not resisting arrest. She didn't assault you. All she did was run. What more charges did she get? Look, you ain't even doing your job, bro. For her to even catch more charges. Laziest cop of 2024, I promise y'all. Yup, look at his hand, I told y'all. His watch look like a rubber band. These fools be too out of shape to be field police. Sit his ass at a desk, bro. It's no way this out of shape ass female could be able to shake him like this. It's no way. It's no way.
You catching more charges?
Get away from me, I can't go to jail.
You already gone. They got your purse and your car. What's she reaching for? You about to get
spray
shot.
that shit, I'm gonna put you in jail.
You gonna put me in
What, she
jail?
got pepper spray?
Felony.
Bro, you reaching like that didn't get popped. He a cool. And then you got pepper spray. He ain't pulled nothing on you.
Metro, she just sprayed me with mace. She's in a...
Let me make sure I'm not tripping real quick, squad. Just real quick. Just real quick. Just real quick. Because didn't he take her keys? Took her keys. Put them on top of the car, okay. And she ended up getting them back. I'm like, how'd she get her keys, bro? You done sprayed the police, you going to jail.
Get away from me. Got the mighty nose.
This old fool, man.
Metro, she just
There's no
sprayed me
way
with mace.
she should have got away.
She's in a white sedan, fleeing in the car.
If he don't get fired after this, bro, this city is a joke. My nigga not even gonna try to run back to his car to go chase her, bro. There's no way this female should have got off on him like that. My nigga done pulled a pepper. This one of them times where if she would have got popped, it kind of would have been justified. I'm keeping it real. She reaching for something, I don't know what it is. She running. Yeah. This one of them ones, he just not one of them ones, bro. A regular cop would have popped her dumb ass. You done pull a taser? His old ass forgot he had the taser. I'm stereotyping, bro. I said he was like 55. I'm pushing towards 60. Please let the officers, the other officers come around so we can see their body cam and to look at this nigga. Cause I want to see who bro is. He needs to be fired. Sorry, forced into retirement after this. Kept saying fire. He's trying. He's trying. He needs to be forced in retirement after this, bro. Straight up. Straight up. Straight up. Oh, he had glasses on. Look at him. The prescriptions. Just stupid. Don't run around. I nigga finna be on bed rest for a month after
It's a
this.
white four-door sedan.
Go to your car, bro. You got civilians giving you water. Another old fool giving you water.
I should have just slammed her on the ground and quit playing with her.
Is that Canelo? Squad, is that Canelo?
I should have just slammed her on the ground and quit playing with her.
You couldn't. You couldn't if you tried, bro. Stop the cap. You couldn't if you tried.
Suspect escaped.
29 Abercorn, 79.
So heartbroken. Suspect escaped. Suspect escaped. Listen to it.
Sorry. Hand in video, suspect escaped.
So heartbroken.
29 Abercorn,
Oh,
79, 29
the other cop is here.
It's gonna be a
Look.
black expedition and a
That's a lesson learned right there.
What was her last direct?
Yep. When I say 280, about 250. When I say 60, 55, about that age. About that age. I know
Direction of
it.
travel? Which way did she go? On
With the
what was her last?
with the arrows on his sleeve. That's a sergeant, squad. Force him into retirement. You ain't built for this shit no more. You put in your work. It's visible. You got the arrows. But now, once a female get off on you like this, bro, put the jersey, put the uniform in the rafters, fool. It's a wrap.
Last direction of
It's
travel?
a wrap.
Which way did she go?
My nigga still recover.
On Apache, going down Shawnee towards Middle Ground? Okay. I mean, he got sprayed. I think he already 45 to that CS unit that was asking for the direction of travel. They're saying that they went towards Middle Ground off of Apache. What color was it? White. 10-4. It was a white in color Chevrolet Impala that's going eastbound towards Middle Ground.
Black female. Let him know.
Right to the right. I dropped her purse.
What was the tag?
Crazy part is, bro, she would have bailed out today or tomorrow. Now she done got a felony. You pepper spraying a police officer. She was so scared to go to jail. Now she finna do some months and then get out on probation. Think before you do, man. You pepper spraying a police officer. That's like, think before you do, man. It's a lot of police officers in that department, but they up there like, I would have shot the bitch. I promise you, it's a few of them that said that.
I called it out. I didn't write it down.
He just not trying to be them ones on TV and up in prison. He watched the news. He ain't trying to be that cop.
Did he put out that she has pepper spray? We'll use
Black people starting to get away with anything now. You don't want to be that cop to go to jail for doing that to a black man.
Still in there and her phone.
She got it eat.
Wait, her ID was in there?
Yeah, I got
her purse.
You're the officer.
That's her purse.
This is her purse?
My boy dropped her purse.
What's up, Wilson?
Officers located the woman's ID and matched it with the vehicle's registration, successfully identifying her. When they followed up at the listed address, they observed the vehicle arriving to drop off a young child. However, upon noticing the police presence, the woman fled, reaching speeds of up to 100 miles per hour.
She ain't going.
The pursuit ended in a neighborhood where she was eventually caught after nearly driving into a pond.
Give us just
Barron's Way.
Barron's Way.
Bro, I promise y'all, if I would have did that and got away with it, I would have went on a run like I did a murder. I'm not like, if I mace a police officer and I got away, I would have went on a run. What you mean, Ghost? I wouldn't even be in that same city or state or in one near it, bro. I would have been another coast. If it happened on the East Coast, I'm in the South or the West Coast, and vice versa. If it happened on the West Coast, I'm in the South or the East for some years.
Catch the fucking ball, man.
Y'all ain't finna catch me over this, bro. It ain't happening. And y'all ain't finna catch. And to think about it, like I said, I do it like it was a murder for the simple fact that this not no nationwide bulletin post. They not finna put an APB in every police department looking for you. You're not finna get put on America's Most Wanted. You get what I'm saying? That I would have been gone. It would have been for a while. For a while, bro. Probably forever. I'm not lying. I'm not in that city or state no more. I'm cool.
It's just a rough time for me.
Okay. That's still not an excuse for anything.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I checked her.
Drainage ditch.
Yeah, we'll just...
I don't got nothing on
No, I've already gone through her pockets.
Okay.
1343, you had an address?
There you go.
I'm walking around front now.
Oh, boy.
We'll be right back.
I'm surprised the way she was acting that she not right there like hysterically crying and dramatic.
My name is Sergeant
We don't care.
Brunson. This is Detective Brunson with both.
Don't tell that fool nothing.
For Savannah Police, how you doing? Can we get you anything to drink?
We heard the officer side of the story. We heard officers on the scene side of the story. Heard your family side of the story. Do you want to talk to us and let us know what's going on? What happened? Why you did what you did?
Just been rough on me. No.
It's a yes or a no, ma'am. I just have to read something to you if you want to talk with us. Okay, give me a second.
Once again, we want to make sure you're okay. You want water? You want anything? You feel the air in there? You feel the air? AC? It's pretty cool. Okay.
Can you feel the air?
All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney and to have an attorney present during any questioning. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be provided for you at a government expense. Knowing and understanding your rights as I explain them to you, are you willing to speak to us and answer any questions without an attorney present?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you use any drugs today?
No.
Okay. Are you in a good mental capacity at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So again, I spoke with everybody. I'm Detective Brunson, my sergeant, Sam Washington. We spoke with everybody pretty much involved.
Asking somebody is they in a good mental capacity is so much cap. The person with the worst mental issues, if you ask them, they're gonna say they okay, bro. What he was about to say, he said, "Have you been using any drugs?" No. And it was about to follow right after where are you intoxicated, but he noticed he couldn't say that no more. So he said, are you in a good mental capacity? I heard it, and I know my people. Don't try to do me, nigga.
Dude,
I know why.
Can you walk us through what happened? You know that you were trying to get some baby clothes for the whatever. I think you told the officer that. Can you walk me through from there of you procuring the items and why that was done?
Well, it was done because it was stupid. So, you know, I can't make no excuse for that, but
calm down.
I didn't even get out the door.
It's her lips that damn. What the fuck? Squad, y'all can't see it how I see it, huh? No, we can't go. Yes, you can. Look at that's it. Damn. Powder, don't. What the hell was she doing? It ain't no way in hell you was that dehydrated for your lips to be that damn chapped. If you smile, you gonna crack a bleed. I'm not lying, bro. That is that a mental issue? Because if it is, I'm sorry. I don't like clowning people with mental disabilities, but if it's not, goddamn, Carmex can't fix that. You need some car oil.
Folks said you need some car oil.
Like sad. Imagine putting some Carmex on your lips and it's still like that. That's what's gonna happen. I promise y'all, if she go like this on her sleeve, it's gonna be a line. As long as she do it from this side to that side, it's gonna be a line from that side to that side on her sleeve. Just white, crusty, nasty. Ugh. Up there stealing clothes. And I promise you, wasn't nothing that can moisturize them lips up in that damn bag. No kind of lip ointment, no kind of treatment for black women lips, no kind of nothing, bro. She went up in there for her. Damn. Going out in public like that is sickening. I couldn't even imagine, like, you. Whew.
My purse or nothing. So, like, when I was like, okay, I'll put the stuff down, he just, like...
I know my guy, like, damn, her lips is ashy. Yeah, see, that's the crumbs she's spitting out, bro. All that's it. She ain't eating nothing, bro. She ain't eating nothing. Her teeth not falling out. It's the crumbs on her lips. It's keep falling in her mouth, bro. So she got to keep, like, getting about to do something with that shit. That's kind of, not kind of, that's fucking crazy, bro. I'm telling you, sickening. We all have our moments, but we ain't never had a moment like that, bro. We done all had some ashy lips before. Let's keep it 100. Look at a little chap. A little chappy. Little chap. Maybe check my shit. No, but look. We ain't never had those moments, bro. It ain't not in the history of histories, like, bro. We ain't never had those moments.
Said, I don't give a fuck. And that thing really triggered it.
Okay. Triggered it. And then from there, what happened, man?
I tried to get in the car.
Okay. You said you did?
Thank you.
He's sending them crumbs out like pistachio pieces.
He grabbed my side. He manhandled me. He roughed me up and like, yeah, I'm not gonna make no excuse. Y'all know I was doing something wrong, but goddamn. Okay. You ain't had to do all that.
He didn't do nothing to you. You got away.
Like a point to protect yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I felt like, you know, he was saying.
Somebody tell Lips we got it on video. What is she talking about, bro? He did not manhandle you. He couldn't even touch you. What did you talk? You lying through your lips.
This nigga did
chap you lying, bro. He didn't even touch you.
I understand. That's kind of, you know, parent, you folk die, you never know. With everybody, how everybody feeling that way.
What's your pain? Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so, you know, we got that part.
Oh my, she is.
You don't give a fuck.
She making me.
At which point you pepper sprayed them, and then you went in your car, or your mom's car.
Yeah, my mom's car. Yeah.
Who was the kid?
You stealing in your mama's car?
It was no kids in the car by myself.
Okay, I was outside. I was parked right in front when you pulled in front of the house.
But that was like after the fact, but they said that I was driving reckless with my kids, and that wasn't true.
That's what your family said? I'm pretty sure you spoke to them because that's who I talked to.
Yeah, that wasn't true. Like,
was that your kid?
No.
Okay.
My kid with their daddy.
Okay, who was the kid with you? Just someone that you dropped off?
Yeah, just somebody that was dropping off over there.
Alright, so you dropped the kid off. Cool. At which point, that's when I was outside the house. Officers trying to stop me. Took off.
Come on, do it. Do it.
Going about 100.
Do it.
Man, it was stupid, man. Like, you know, I can't make no excuse for it.
You're driving now, you know.
Like, apparently I
You could have worked for us.
Like,
took off.
I can't make no excuse for it, you know. I'm not gonna try to make an excuse for it. It was stupid, you know. It's just a hard time, but it's no excuse for it. But like, if that officer wouldn't have roughed me up like that, then I wouldn't have.
You would have just said, hey, I did it, whatever.
Yeah, and then, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is, huh?
Okay, at which point now that leads us to here? Again, what you're driving. I don't know what school you went to for driving, but I mean, you talking about fitting a needle in something that small?
They're trying to ease it real quick.
That's impressive.
Give me a job, I won't have to steal.
Yeah, I think a little late for that. If you would have a couple months back,
Man, she still got a police record. You wouldn't have got the job anyway.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
No.
And I'm sorry that officer got pepper spray, but they got, you can't just be handling people all kind of jacked up ways like that.
And I appreciate your
apology. I'll let him know that.
I apologize.
That bro said I'll let him know that.
I hope you feel better. What's going on with you?
Yeah, I don't know this hell. It's just in my eyes. In my eyes water.
Gotcha.
You probably got some pepper spray on your hair.
Yeah.
From earlier.
Right. And
then, it's burning.
Yeah, you might got some pepper spray and then your lashes or whatever. I know EMS was just here. Did they look at you?
Yeah, but it wouldn't burn it then.
Okay.
Well, we're trying to get you out of here.
Does EMS got some chapstick?
You in handcuffs. How you gonna wipe your face with a tissue?
Some lip balm.
Y'all got a tissue? How you gonna? What you gonna do with the tissue? What's she gonna do with the
charged
tissue?
with shoplifting and felony obstruction. Share your thoughts below. And
that's it? Not felony assault on that Leo? No, I'm gonna get at y'all, bro. Be cool how y'all be cool, man, and stay up out the way.
As they will need to clear every area and direct a high number of citizens among the 1.4 million square foot property. To make matters worse, 911 callers state there may be multiple shooters.
Active shooter incident. Call unit. 21-year-old male is awake and breathing located outside of Cheesesteak Factory. One of the victims.
Fuck me.
There's others. Car 20 gravity, wait to see left.
Get back! Hey, Brandon, go back! Hey, Leverage, I'm on you. Watch Forever 21. We need to move that location, right? All right, hey, I got covered. Head up the stairs. Get out of the wall! Get out! Get on your face! Get out of the way! Hey! Secure the firearm! I got you, Jordan. All right, I got you.
I'm about to say he got me. I was about to say.
With one shooter in custody, officers must search for a second shooter and their victims.
Hey, where's the Get out of the wall! Get out! Security, come here. Security, come here. We have one. Is there another?
No, sir. That's the only one, sir.
Only one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need you to stay right here, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You saw him first?
No, I don't know who shot.
Okay.
That guy right there, he told me he was the one who shoot.
What else do you know? Get out of the wall!
He's the one who told me to shoot.
Get him. He's a witness.
Upstairs or downstairs?
Upstairs. So from the beginning, what happened?
I was patrolling and I heard somebody shot. I came here to see everybody running that way.
Yeah.
And then I came this way and you told me, shot.
And at what point did you see him?
He was talking on the phone.
He was talking on the phone?
Yeah, he was talking on the phone.
Security's third-person account of a first-hand witness indicates one person fired shots, but multiple suspects may be involved. It is still unclear if the others are armed or if they are still hiding in the mall.
Hey, get out. Come on. Let's go. Get out of the mall. Get out. Let's go.
While officers begin their sweep, a civilian records the action outside.
Ayan o, na ano nila, na baril. Ayan, dito sa Dallas Mall.
Alright, clear that. Alright, hold on. Ready? Clear. Clear.
Ayan, dumating na yung mga rescue. Ayan, tingnan nyo. Mga rescue, ayan. Ayan, mga kasama dito sa Amerika ito. Dito na lahat, oh. Mga pulis, ganyan naman.
Fucking go, man. That's why you put your safety in that linebacker. If that's a linebacker, he running past and that's a completed pass. But instead, we can match speed with speed and we create turnovers. Let's fucking go.
Oh, we're going to take the right side. Ready? Move.
Yan o, si Uncle, oh. Nakasecured. Hello, Uncle. Tingin ka naman. Ayan, si Uncle.
Move. Split your sectors. All right, split left. I'm going left. Go right. Long haul. Hey, hands. Come in. Hands. I got. Hands up. I'm holding long. Lots of people in here. How many?
Hot route speed out. That's it.
Hey, we got people in this room back here. Oh, shot. Yep. Hold here. I'm going to go back up to this corner, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many victims do we have so far?
Ayun, bubuhatin na.
And a free 2 points.
Oh.
Ah, fuck.
Hey, hands. Sheriff's office, come out here in the hall. Police. Come to the hall.
Sorry?
It's for the police. Sheriff's office. Show your hands.
Come on slowly. We have to wait inside?
No,
ven aquí. Okay, go ahead. Come.
Policía, ven aquí. Ven aquí. Hands.
Manos arriba.
Okay.
Okay.
Exit. Hands up.
Put 3 more guards with us. More bodies with us.
Deputies back here. Sheriff's office back here.
Yeah, we're right here.
All right.
Lahat. Oh, lumabas lahat. Oh, mga nagtatrabaho, lahat. Lumabas, lahat.
Come out. Yep, come on. You guys ready for the? No, we haven't got to this yet.
Stairway. You okay?
I'm gonna get my sweat off.
I know. Yeah, don't need cardio today.
Ang dami oh, mga tao. Yun, magsilabas na tao sa mall.
Nobody comes in behind us?
Damn, 3rd and 10.
Yeah.
Nobody knows
What the fuck?
Okay, let's collapse back this way.
Ian Reynolds hit the corridors on that side.
Yeah, we hit him.
He was out of bounds? Okay.
Guarding the evidence right here. Okay. Are we just doing a sweep right here?
Yeah, we're gonna check.
Okay. Push forwards. All right. Oh, fresh air.
That's so good. Gonna let you over here and flat out.
Okay.
I didn't realize the employees would be like, shoot, we're gonna shelter in place, you know.
Oh, goodness.
Which, that's cool. I mean, they have like the gates.
It's a terrible idea.
I know.
All management, all
we've already been doing that. How many of you are there? Hey, just wait a second. Hey, Sarge, you got 3 citizens up there? Where do you want them? Hey, you 3, just take a second. Hang tight.
Stop moving. You said stop moving. Yeah. You got it right here.
Okay.
Sir! Where's this guy?
Where is he?
Sir, come on.
Where's he at?
Still people in Forever 21?
I don't know.
Anybody else? This too.
What do we know so far?
There was reports of multiple shooters.
He called that shit. Get the fuck.
I would still act as if.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Look at this dumb shit. Just dumb shit.
Just contact the Lime Sheriff's Office. I mean, there's
Yeah. The entire county.
What? Yeah, the whole county is working this.
So far, officers have found one shooter and one gunshot victim, but officers face another obstacle as workers re-enter the mall before the sweep is complete.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter right now.
Alright, why is everyone coming back?
I didn't drop deep enough. Let's go to 2.
Just to go close all the store.
But we don't need 10 people to close off.
Everybody have a store. He can stay outside. I can go close my store.
I have a reptile house. I have heat lamps on live animals. I gotta get some heat lamps on. Who told you guys to come back in?
All the officers, the one stand in front of the entrance door.
I got you, but obviously we got a crime scene going on. We're not letting like 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 of you back in here. What's everyone doing back here? What are you guys doing? The mall's closed. Get out. If you're not at work, get out.
Yeah, let me call one Bravo. Hey, I got a group of employees. Okay, thank you, sir. Anybody who has to turn gas off, we can escort over to the grills.
So one from each store. I have to go downstairs and across the reptile.
Everybody else has to go out. Okay, y'all can come with me. We're gonna go do the reptiles first, and we're gonna do this as a group, okay? All right, y'all can wait right here. Don't go anywhere, okay?
You ever come out here on a better situation, I'll give you a personal tour.
All right, appreciate it. Hey, don't walk through here, okay? Hey, family, are they good to walk over here? They got to turn the gas off in their grills. What's that? Did you just turn the gas off?
Can I put that other up right here?
No, not right now. Are you all done?
Just that one?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Off. This is heavy. Yeah.
How much is it?
30 pounds. Plus this.
You have to deal with all that out there.
Did either of you see anything?
See the deal?
I just want to go fucking score.
Everybody said it right.
Oh, okay. Okay, you three can go. Follow directions from deputies on how to get out through Macy's, okay? Just water, please. Thank you so much. Oh my god, I could crush a slushie.
Hey, you doing alright?
Yeah, the mall's gonna be closed. There was an incident in the food court.
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry.
You don't see them with these big ass guns. The mall gates closed. You talk about? I see all the stores are closed. Well, first of all, how the fuck did you get in here?
It's already on the news.
That's an accurate thing.
One injured suspect on the Washington Post.
Washington Post, Fox 5 News. They put the new freaking menu item of Chick-fil-A on their news.
Washington Post is saying authorities believe the shooting stemmed from a dispute between two people.
Officers discovered in real time a self-proclaimed YouTube prankster was filming a video with peers when the incident occurred.
And I saw the dude with the camera. He ran up to me. He's like, I got the whole thing on tape. I'm like, is this a bit? Like, you got the big old camera, you got the whole thing on tape? Like, what were y'all doing?
Police obtained the footage originally intended for classified goons, a YouTube channel featuring Tanner Cook and his peers as they provoke unsuspecting people, usually retail workers or customers, to capture their negative reactions on video.
We're gonna get some people real riled up and real mad at us.
I know that this is funny to you.
I'm not here to
This isn't funny to us.
I completely get that.
It's not funny. Buddy was pretty mad. Clearly the people in the store didn't enjoy it too much, but we had a lot of fun.
Tanner, seemingly unaffected by social shame, is willing to push boundaries to get what he wants. Tanner's own posts show him invading personal space.
Bro, just back up. Hey!
Step back.
Right here.
Knock it off. Bro.
Shouting and making loud noises.
Out now! Yeah, Cynthia for a threesome.
Alluding to commit crimes.
I'm calling the cops.
Why?
Because you're trying to steal from my store.
You have to pay for it. Okay, well, I'll just take it.
We just went into some stores, started breaking items. We didn't actually break any of their stuff, but they didn't know that.
Get out of the store, now! That's mine.
I don't give a shit.
Dude,
Get out. I use a water bottle and act like we're peeing on the floor.
No, it's not funny.
We'll clean it up.
Startling people with sudden movements.
I don't know why he's doing that, but it's been nice working with you guys.
And provoking confrontations.
Get out!
Back here! Get out of here!
All without consent from those they force into these situations.
Taking pictures and filming people.
You need to stop recording.
Can I do a couple tests on you? Dude, she's like the hottest person I've ever seen.
Don't take a photo of me. What are you doing? You can't do that. What the hell?
All we're trying to do is like capture the animals in the zoo. That's it. We're recording the giraffes. Stop! You invited me for dinner?
You need to stop recording these girls. It's creepy and it's inappropriate. Go.
Intimidating behavior, especially given his reportedly 6'5" and over 200-pound frame. Even when engaging with armed individuals, Tanner has shown he will continue his antics.
Seriously. Dude.
Just leave it right there.
You're tripping, bro.
Are you f***ing around? No, don't touch me.
It's just a hug.
Get the f*** away from me.
Dude.
All right.
It's just
one more f***ing time. Get the f*** away from me.
Dude.
All right, we'll f***ing shoot your out. Right the f*** now.
Be gentle with me, please.
Police have been called dozens of times as a result.
Please hang up and dial 911.
We've already called the police on them.
The police are on their way.
The channel operates in a legal gray area, and officers have not taken action. In many videos, Tanner tricks people by claiming someone is secretly filming them, always his own cameraman, while the target remains unaware of Tanner's involvement.
In here recording?
You guys are together, so.
No, I don't know.
Whatever prank you guys are doing, I need you guys to go right now. These guys come in here all the time. Your name's like Tanner, right?
One person who thought Tanner was the victim explains why he has likely avoided legal consequences.
You have no reasonable expectation of privacy in a public place.
No.
He can videotape anything he wants.
Even all-party consent laws that require everyone's consent to record are bound to if there is a reasonable expectation of privacy. This is almost certainly the reason Tanner and his peers solely film in publicly accessible settings. However, there are plenty of other laws that Tanner and his peers do that are seemingly illegal, but hardly enforced.
But if they're telling him to leave, he's not, then he is committing a crime. He's trespassing now.
Out.
911?
Now. There's no arguing about it. You need to go.
Get out of my store. Get out.
Outside of these apparent violations, his actions are also textbook examples of disorderly conduct, with plenty of perceived evidence posted on his own channel.
I get no I'm going to jail, brother.
I'm a motherfucker that breaks cameras.
Hey, come on.
The videos also depict that Tanner runs away from the scene before officers arrive, ultimately avoiding consequences.
Hurry up. Hey, they just called the cops on us instead of pulling up, so hopefully we can get out of here before they get here.
From our research, Tanner has yet to face any charges, even in cases where officers detain him and his peers.
I need you to get out of his face because you seem like you're provoking him.
What's your problem?
Nothing. I was just trying to get my bag.
Okay. You know what? You're detained.
Could it have been you that stole my bag?
Knock it off, or you're gonna go to jail.
Get your cigarettes out of my auditorium. Get your alcohol out of here.
I'm gonna drink these.
Correct, you're trespassing. You're actually committing a crime right now. Drinking in public. Illegal.
It's not alcohol.
It's called trespassing.
Okay.
Hell out of here. If you come back, I'm gonna take you to jail.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Officers likely have not pursued charges against Tanner because they are dealing with more pressing issues. Conversely, some at the scene said this prank-related shooting drew more officers than they had ever seen.
When I was listening to the radio, I thought there was like multiple victims.
I was expecting to see some guy with an AR in here.
Exactly.
We were getting him in custody, and we were still hearing that there's other stuff going on.
Yeah, it's always going to be chaos. I think we had a pretty good response.
They added everyone.
Yeah, they
They said dump all the stations and send them here, so everybody got added.
Yeah. I've never seen so many units in one day. Dude, I've had more action on days for the last 3 weeks than I had the last like 6 months at night.
People don't know, man.
Yeah.
They think days is all just almost all the homicides are on days.
Yeah. 2 robberies yesterday. This today.
Tanner's pranks become more serious when factoring in the emergency resources they occupy, a reputation that has drawn attention from nearby agencies.
One of the Loudoun County deputies who responded to Dulles Town Center back on April 2nd said that he was the first one to get to Tanner Cook right after he was shot. He rendered first aid. He said as he was walking up to Cook, he recognized him from his YouTube videos.
Officers on scene at the mall seem to remember Tanner from one incident in particular.
Wait, it was one of the clowns?
You shot one of the clowns.
Oh, God.
The one who wears the big bat suit is tall.
Is he alive or?
Get the heck out of my store!
Keep going.
Go ahead and tell them, sir. They're the same clowns from Five Guys
Now this is at least 3 times you're doing it.
Hey, how about we get off the scooter? Get out of the scooter. Unbanned from the property?
Yes.
Your ID, your ID. I still need your name. Tanner, same thing for you. You need a sign.
I don't think it's mandatory to provide ID when a criminal action hasn't occurred.
No, it is, actually. He wants you formally trespass.
Footage from the shooting shows Tanner continued the same antics that have previously led others to pull weapons on him. This time, he faced real consequences.
I don't speak very much English, and I had a question. So, no, man, am I going too fast for you?
Yeah, bro, you're fast, my guy.
Sorry, I'm like a boner right now. There.
Like, you're an under dog, like humping everyone. Just relax.
You guys want a picture, right? Taking pictures of the picture person.
Right? See this guy over there? This guy in the gray. I see him from all the way over here. Go up to him nice behind him. Start me out with something. You know where to find my... There's a security guard right behind him. He just walked out.
We gotta also make sure we don't run into that one security guard that knows us.
Look like the ex I never had get away from me. Stinky stink pink wink. And don't ask to play with my twinkle because they'll never let you. I am on lunch. I didn't like to lunch on you vegan.
It's just too long. I'm saying, like, you're not gonna get...
No, I know they'll be... No,
they're not gonna listen to the whole thing, bro. I'm telling you. Have it short, weird, awkward, and they'll be like, what the f***?
Tony Baloney, can you see my wony?
Tony Baloney, can you see my stinker phony?
Who is?
Hey, dipshit, quit thinking about my twinkle.
Is that you?
Dude, you're... How do you go with that f***ing weird I'm trying to think of something funny, right?
Sir. The footage shows the group targeting 31-year-old Alan Coley, who tries to ignore them, but they follow him anyway. Reports say Alan was working for DoorDash and living in his truck to get by. Unbeknownst to them, Alan is legally armed with a concealed carry permit and is a member of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association, which offers gun safety training and self-defense liability insurance.
Who are we getting?
What?
Hey, dipshit, quit thinking about my twinkle.
What's that mean?
Hey, dipshit, quit thinking about my twinkle.
No.
Hey, dipshit, quit thinking about my twinkle.
Get on my face and pull it off. Stop.
Hey, dipshit, quit thinking about my twinkle.
Stop.
Y'all gotta stop walking up on fucking people. What are y'all doing, man? That's what I'm saying. People walk up
This
on
now
people
silent
again.
video shows a crowd fleeing the shooting, but another civilian's angle captures those who stayed, seemingly calm and unaffected, as Alan stands nearby on the phone. A detective gives her 2 cents after reviewing the footage at the scene.
You can tell that he's trained with firearms. He doesn't even raise his arm. He literally grabs a gun out and tilts his vest and shoots one round. Never has a fire alarm, but today he's delivering.
Critical condition, life-threatening, but stable.
That's why you don't go scootering with people.
Yeah, he been doing that to us and to Fairfax.
Yeah. Now they mess with the wrong person.
And I thought the same thing, just like you saying. I said, you know, yeah, Paul, go to Washington D.C. to see what's gonna happen.
They're probably looking at it. It's dumb.
Yeah. That's wild.
Rumors claim Alan called USCCA to file a self-defense claim right after the incident. But when it emerged he had a public defender, not USCCA-backed counsel, it sparked controversy. Notably, the policy's fine print allows USCCA to drop members they believe acted outside the bounds of self-defense, regardless of legal outcomes. After his arrest, Alan was charged with 1 count of malicious wounding, 1 count of use of a firearm in commission of a felony, and 1 count of unlawfully discharging a firearm in a dwelling. Alan pled not guilty to all charges, leading to a jury trial, a process that would take almost 9 months while Alan resided in jail. Alan was acquitted on 1 count of malicious wounding and 1 count of use of a firearm in commission of a felony, but was found guilty on 1 count of unlawfully discharging a firearm in a dwelling. That conviction was enough to revoke his concealed carry license and bar his right to own firearms. He was sentenced to time served, meaning the roughly 9 months in jail that led up to the verdict would be considered his sentence. He was released released from confinement immediately afterwards. USCCA stayed mostly silent about the situation until later sharing a blog post featuring an email, allegedly from Allen, meant to clarify the situation. The email states the organization never dropped his coverage, but that Allen chose a public defender on his own and rejected USCCA coverage himself. While Allen dealt with the legal process, reports indicate Tanner underwent surgery to remove his gallbladder and fully recovered. During that time, Tanner was invited as a guest on a Dr. Phil segment that focused on the act of being filmed and shamed in public.
People like drama-driven content. People don't have the best reaction. I got shot. It looked like I was being a little aggressive, but that wasn't, my intention. I don't regret any of the pranks on my channel. If you don't like it, you don't gotta watch it. It's as simple as that.
And this was supposed to be funny. It's been reported the judge in the case said no citizen goes to the mall to become the pawn of a prank. True?
Yes.
So he had some sympathy, although the guy spent 8 months in jail. How'd you feel about that?
See, I felt bad for the guy, honestly, but, he has to go through the process of the courts.
But you sent him to jail.
Yeah, but I didn't, want that to happen. It wasn't the plan to just go to the mall and be like, all right, I want someone to go to jail. I had to double check my hoodie to see if there was a hole, and there was a hole, so I was like, oh, yep.
Yeah, I've been shot?
Yep. I was like, damn. It is what it is. There's that.
You still pranking?
Yeah.
You thought about it some other kind of job?
Nope, it's gonna be that. Like 50 Cent. You wait till that time?
Be safe.
Tanner's parents have also thrown in their 2 cents to media.
Where's the line where it became a life-threatening situation? At no point do you go, oh, there's where it became a physical point where this guy had to defend himself.
Tanner's father also shared that they believed, quote, the media painted Tanner as the aggressor and Allen as the victim without even seeing the video of what happened.
This was not the verdict Tanner Cook and his mother were hoping for, but we did catch up with them. Here's what they had to say.
At the end of the day, we respect what the jury says. And my family and I are just grateful and thankful that I have my son here, and nothing else matters right now. And that's it. I want to thank the prosecutors, the Commonwealth prosecutors, Miss Jones and Eden Holmes. They did an outstanding job presenting this case, and we couldn't have had it any better. And regardless of the outcome, the jury's the jury, and we totally respect how our law plays out. And this was the outcome today, and we respect that.
Yeah, Tanner.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Just real quick, Tanner, you said you wanted to, what's your message to the people who might have a question about your content itself?
I don't know. I guess we'll just have to keep watching.
So you'll continue to make videos?
Yeah, probably. We'll see,
How disappointed are you about this?
I really don't care. I mean, it is what it is. It's God's plan at the end of the day, so.
Since the shooting, he has posted 7 more YouTube videos. He continues to provoke others, gets detained, faces more trespass accusations, and receives increasingly widespread backlash in his comments section.
Man walks in on killer sawing his roommate's neck. What the fuck?
He's down here.
It's bad.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's take a peek.
He just took off running down the stairs. He had a knife in his hand and everything.
He's got puncture wounds all over the place, too.
And so I'm like, oh, here's a young retard Hitler. If someone is trying to start a new worldwide cult, I will eliminate that person.
On March 10, 2020, officers with the Idaho Falls Police Department are called to a home after one of the residents witnesses a bone-chilling crime. As investigators plunge into a case brimming with appalling discoveries and a suspect on the run, they encounter a twisted tale of cultish accusations and mental disorders. However, nothing prepares them for the twisted motive they will uncover at the end of this heinous crime.
That was a good
On
ass
a chilly
game.
evening, 31-year-old Aaron makes an urgent 911 call when he encounters a horrifying scene. The following videos have never been seen or heard before.
911, where's your emergency?
This guy named Douglas, he just killed Hans. I don't know what his name is. His last name, Hans.
Aaron lives with 5 other individuals in a home dubbed the Graduate House, run by a local nonprofit that offers alternative housing options for those in need.
And he just took off running down the street.
Is he breathing?
No, he's not. Hey, Hans is not breathing.
Even though Aaron is panic-stricken, he somehow manages to gather his composure and relay vital details to the operator.
He ran down towards Common Sense, towards that direction.
Who's the male that stabbed him?
Douglas Taylor.
And you said he does have a knife?
Yes, he does have a knife. He just killed him.
Is he on the ground?
He's on the ground. Hans is on the ground. He just cut. He just cut his neck with a knife, man.
Is he hey, let's start CPR. You're gonna put
I can't.
your walker.
I don't know. He's dead. He's dead. He's blue. He's completely blue. His neck is cut. What's knife? Over here. Over here.
As officers arrive and move quickly to secure the scene, they find Aaron outside while the victim is bleeding out inside on the kitchen floor.
He's down here. It's bad. Myself and 1-7 are clearing the house.
Good. Ready?
Inside the house, officers Kelly and Picard find the lifeless body of 51-year-old Herman Hans Worland lying in a pool of blood.
We got a back door.
Running down the street. Okay, just hang out here.
So it's common sense. He had a knife in his hand and everything.
So who's the guy? Do you know the guy?
Yeah, Ben.
Talk to me. Here, just talk to me, man.
Douglas Taylor just killed Hans. The dude, he cut his throat with a knife.
I need you to stick with me, man. If we're gonna find this guy.
Who is he? His name is Douglas Taylor. He has brown hair, it goes over his eyes, and he's wearing a brown jacket and a brown pants with brown boots. He ran off towards common sense with a knife.
Okay.
I woke up, I was asleep, I heard him fighting, he goes, no, stop, please. And that's all I heard, and I came upstairs and he was laying on the floor with blood all over him.
Okay.
Connor?
Where's he at, Karen?
He's right here, but hey, wait, come this way.
Come this way, Connor, this way.
This way.
Hey, do you want me at the back or the front here?
Just hold on.
Hey, go grab the airway bag.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's take a peek.
Okay. Just try not to touch it.
All other fire units incoming can slow down.
Even though all hope appears to be lost for the victim, Hans, paramedics continue to check on him.
Watch where you stop, please. Okay. You step right back out then.
Yep.
So, he's right there. Let's just clear this real quick.
I'll pie this room on the left. If you want to hold it forward, Karen. Looks like it's a bathroom. There's a shower curtain. I'm gonna go in. Okay, shower's behind the door, so I can't see. Clear.
Back upstairs, paramedics huddle over the victim to document the injuries.
Hey, Maddie.
Yeah.
You want to come here and witness? We're trying to get a 4 lead here.
Harkness wants a 4 lead round, so. What's that? Harkness just wants a 4 lead round. Okay. So just so. He's got puncture wounds all over the place, too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Put your fucking hands up, Jack.
What's up? It's working.
Oh,
it's working.
I'm doing the whole deal?
Hey, you have a work phone on you?
No, I'll go grab mine. Yep.
In an unexpected twist, Hans Worland, the victim everyone thought was dead, has a pulse. As officers hurry to photograph the crime scene, paramedics act swiftly in a desperate effort to save the victim's life.
Kieran, I'd start taking pictures quick, dude. Dispatch, maybe one. Call her, recognize we have a full trauma activation. We have an estimated 35-year-old male, cardiac arrest. He is in PEA. Chet, I think we just move him and just get him out of here. I think it's our best bet.
I'm gonna keep talking to this guy real quick. It's good.
You want to go logistically organize them? It's coming out of the back of his head.
Dude, it's freaking.
God damn it. Dude, I don't know. Holy keep going, keep cranking, keep cranking.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
I'm gonna skitch my Jeff.
In order to save precious seconds, paramedics improvise their plans to get Hans into the ambulance as quickly as possible.
Well, Jeff, we don't have to worry about a Tom Hater subs.
Yeah, no, we're doing good.
Let's just get over quick. Top wraps.
Okay, we're all set. Check out. See this back to the side of his neck.
It's pumping blood out, bud. Pumping it.
All right, let's just roll. God, the clock's here.
Pull that arm. That arm.
Let's get it squared on a little bit.
What changed? He's got rhythm or what?
Yeah, he's in PEA, dude.
Okay.
Boys, you ready?
Okay. Just gonna drag. Yep. His legs, you gotta rough south. Get him up. All right. Watch his hands. I know, I'm trying to get a clock machine.
He said the knife's in here, in the house somewhere.
Officer Lindquist brings up a fundamental detail about the missing murder weapon, but that's not the only thing they're lacking. They still have a suspect at large, potentially causing even more death and destruction. Officers immediately turn their attention to Aaron, the 911 caller who's been standing outside talking on his cell phone this entire time.
I want somebody monitoring him on audio right now.
Okay, I think McCart's recording,
but he left him. So this guy's making phone calls and talking and sharing information we need to get reported.
Okay.
Tape it. Hey, you got that? Tape it. Everything. Yeah.
Before Aaron has a chance to talk to anyone else, Detective Albright records his statement. But the more Aaron reveals, the more uneasy the detectives become. The detective begins his questioning by asking about his roommate, Douglas Taylor, the man Aaron identified as the perpetrator on the call earlier.
So, Doug, what time did he leave this morning?
Like 4:30 in the morning.
4:30 in the morning.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, do you know where he was going?
No, I don't know where he went.
Does he work or anything?
No, he
like
doesn't
that?
work either. He just got released out of a hospital, too.
Oh, really?
From what I understand.
How long has Doug been living here?
Only a month.
Only a month?
Yeah.
Detectives will later uncover the deranged reason that caused Douglas to mercilessly assault a roommate, but for now they continue speaking with Aaron.
So, Doug got released a month ago or so.
Yeah.
And then he shows up here. How was he when he first arrived?
Kind of peculiar. Just doesn't want to talk to people, doesn't want to interact.
The manager of the group home arrives on the scene and provides officers with more valuable details about their missing suspect.
So is this like a group home or what is it?
Yes, we own 3 of them. We got Andre's house, we got the lady's house, and this is our graduate house.
Okay.
Most of the guys here had come through. We actually allowed Douglas to come straight from Blackfoot South to come in here. He was supposed to be all right. He was attending counseling at RHS, and I was by here 3 times yesterday, and I didn't see nothing different in the kid. I talked to him, and all of a sudden, and Hunts never did anything to anybody.
Right.
I mean, that kid was just as docile as he wanted to be, man.
Blackfoot South is a state hospital specializing in mental health located approximately 30 miles south of Idaho Falls. While the reasons for Douglas's treatment remain unknown, it gave an insight into his possible mental health concerns.
Had he been normal kind of before that, for like the first 2 weeks he was here?
No, not really. It's kind of like strange, off to himself, talks to himself.
So he's been talking to himself ever since he got here?
Yeah, ever since he got here. But he started laughing to himself recently.
Oh, just in the last 3 days?
Yeah, just in the last 3 days, yeah.
Do you know if you overheard what he says when he talks to himself?
No, I don't listen to him. I don't listen to that.
What about when he's laughing? Does he say anything specifically?
No, he just mutters stuff that you can't hear.
What Aaron recounts next will leave no doubt as to the manic brutality of the events.
That's when I heard them scuffling or fighting upstairs, and I ran upstairs. And when I ran upstairs, that's when I seen Douglas Taylor with a knife sawing on Hans's neck.
The distance between the top of the basement stairs to the site of the stabbing is less than 20 feet. The fact that Aaron witnessed the ruthless attack from such close proximity suggests that he was lucky to escape with his life.
Oh, he looked at you?
Yeah, he looked at me.
Did he say anything?
No, he didn't say anything.
Was he still holding the knife?
Yes.
Or did he make any motions towards you or anything?
No, he didn't make any motions or any threatening behavior or anything. I would have fought it back, man, if I would known.
So Hans was on all fours, on his knees, and with his hands on the ground.
And he said, "No, stop, please." I heard him say, "No, stop, please."
The crime scene photographs the officers raced to document earlier offer frightening proof of Aaron's detailed account.
Remember what kind of a knife it was?
It looked like a kitchen knife.
Like a kitchen knife?
I'm not sure, but they found that there's a red knife laying on the floor in there in the living room. That might be the knife. I'm not sure. But it looked like a kitchen knife that it had with a brown handle on it.
Do you remember if it had a serrated edge? Or
Yes, it had a serrated sawed edge.
Oh, that makes sense because you used that phrase, he was sawing at his head.
Yes.
Around his neck. Wow.
The description of the weapon should help officers locate it quickly if the suspect did, in fact, leave it at the scene. But Aaron is about to share a curious detail regarding the relationship between the victim Hans and his attacker Douglas.
Did it seem like previous to this, he had gotten along with Hans, or?
Yeah, they would sit in the kitchen for hours and then end sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So is it fair to say that Doug and Hans got along better than maybe Doug and other people?
No.
No?
No one really got along with him. No one really talked to him that much.
Nobody really, and that's why I was asking, because earlier he had said that he wasn't very sociable.
No, he wasn't very sociable. Hans is a friendly, nice guy.
Uh-huh.
But Douglas is not.
As Aaron's interview comes to an end, officers are still left wondering about the motive behind the assault and the location of the missing perpetrator. Through all of this, Hans' life still hangs in the balance.
Oh, wait.
Little radio. Back here, something right the left. Here.
Jason, you see you down there?
You got to the scene. You also be your driver for the ladder truck.
When we get that top off, let's work on vascular access. Where's that other? Hang on.
As paramedics proceed to provide Hans with preliminary treatment, they're unprepared to witness the scope of the numerous wounds that will be revealed later.
All right, good lung sound. Good lung sound.
Nice.
There we go, boys. There we go, boys. Just hold on to that spot. Dude, I can't get a rhythm. I cannot believe we got a rhythm.
It just happened, dude. It's hard to
for real. Is the bagging still going okay?
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone slow and methodical on the way in, okay? Cut that off. Yep. You're shut down.
Fucking go, man.
Slow and easy on the way out.
With the suspect at large and a grievously injured victim, it seems that the dispatch staff has only added more pressure on the officers.
He coded right.
They got a pulse back or something.
If he goes, collect all of his clothing.
Okay. Were you listening to the radio? It came out as like suicide.
Dude, she wouldn't spit it out.
I know. So she
I was sitting there getting pissed off, like I was cursing.
Well, she dispatched 3, so already I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good, right?
Yeah.
And then it just her dispatching like, oh, it's terrible.
Lift up. How bad are we?
It's bad. I think he looked gone when I entered the room.
Boys.
I don't know.
Watch out for seatbelts.
Okay, you guys want to get him turned over, or whatever doctor is taking him. Is it you, Roseford? Okay. It's a doe. He's got his left carotid. His trach has been cut. He's got multiple superficial stab wounds. If we worked him because he's PEA on we're going to need him.
Make sure that one on the left's line quick on there.
I'll let you,
Do you have a Sharpie?
I can get one.
Yeah, why don't we do that so I can start marking stuff?
Amid the hectic scene in the trauma room, doctors need critical information, but Officer Lindquist is about to have another breakdown in communication with the dispatch operator.
When did this come in?
Dispatch, can I get the time of the call for the stabbing? They'll tell me to say 22. Can I get time of call for the hospital?
You mean the time that you were on scene there, or the time that we notified him of the call?
The time the call came out.
Are you on main?
Yes. Charlie, I don't know how hard it is for anybody to look at the time the call came out and tell me that.
Well, you didn't go across that time.
22. Any unit with a computer in front of them, can you please advise the time the call came out? The hospital needs that.
22. The call came in at 22:25, and I'm not sure what other time you're asking for.
It was 22:25. Charlie hates me.
She does. But she also...
This has been ID.
Nope.
It's been pretty stressful.
Miscommunications notwithstanding, doctors learned that the call came in 43 minutes prior to the time relayed by the dispatch operator. As the medical team does everything they can to save Han's life, at the house, officers gathered outside and discussed their impressions of the crime scene and the possible location of their suspect.
Did you go inside at all?
Me? Yeah.
Pretty bloody?
Yeah, he was bleeding out all over the kitchen floor.
So you did?
He looked dead to us. We didn't go any closer to him. We cleared the top floor, and then we backed out.
While officers might have secured the scene, it is clear that they need to quickly widen their search if they hope to have any possibility of catching the suspect.
2-7, we're clear this now. I'm going to be canvassing the businesses east of the canal.
Adjacent to this canal sits a large shopping center where officers will make an unexpected discovery.
2-4, it looks like there's somebody sitting right next to the stores to your west. 2-7, Amber suspect over here on the back of Albertsons.
Officers converge behind the Albertsons, approximately 3/4 of a mile from the crime scene, and find their suspect sitting against the east side of the building. When officers ask what his name is, he replies, Douglas Taylor.
Yeah, it's got blood on his hands. The weapon. The weapon. They said the weapon he left there. 9041. Your suspect is saying the knife is there in the house still. The suspect is saying that the knife is still in the house.
Even though Aaron originally reported that he saw Douglas fleeing from the crime scene holding a weapon, detectives identify a blood-soaked knife lying on the floor in the living room and get Douglas to the station without incident.
All right, step in there, go and take a seat.
Throughout his detainment, Douglas has appeared eerily calm and cooperative, but to get a full picture of the savage attack, detectives need to interview him. However, even seasoned detectives are not prepared to deal with the suspect as unsettling as this one.
All right, Doug. Sit right there. You want some water?
Blitz that.
After reading him his Miranda rights, Detective Schwicht cuts straight to the chase.
Can you tell me what happened tonight from your side of things?
I'm the one who did it.
Okay. Can you tell me why? What happened tonight?
I'm not sure how to explain why I did it.
Within the first few minutes of the interview, Douglas confesses to the attack. However, the motive behind his actions will remain a mystery that investigators have yet to resolve.
I don't know how to explain it using regular terminology.
Okay. In your own words is fine. I'll ask questions if the things I don't understand. I was thinking that probably something happened tonight, or maybe it's an ongoing issue that got you really mad.
I wasn't angry.
Okay.
I have a system of metaphysics which would give you some insight into why.
Can you explain a little bit? Can you just explain to us what exactly happened?
I brutally stabbed to death that man in the kitchen.
It should be noted that Douglas doesn't know that Han still clings to life and casually reveals a morbid series of events. Based on what happens later, everything he says will be called into question.
You said it should have resulted in death. If he survives and pulls through, is that going to be a problem for you, or?
There was no chance of survival.
Did you make absolutely certain that the way you stabbed him was definitely going to kill him? Where did you stab him on his body? Because I haven't seen this guy.
Oh, I slit his neck open. He should have bled out completely.
Did you stab him more than once?
Yeah.
Were you really mad?
Goddamn Turbine, man, you too fucking fast. Why are you on
Sorry, I guess I
kickoff?
asked you that before.
Why are you on
I mean,
kickoff,
when
man?
you're doing it, you have to do it in a precise manner, of course. You know, and like if he's going to defend himself, or try to talk back, or try to prolong, then it becomes more incremental until you just finally make the final kill wound. But I think I stabbed him about 15 times until the final slit to the right side of his neck, piercing through all of those veins on the side. I witnessed him begin to bleed profusely. So, yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the Eastern Idaho Regional Medical Center, an inevitable tragedy strikes.
Did they just call it?
Yeah, loud thing, man. I called Harkness and let him know road 30 let.
They called it.
Yeah.
Hans had succumbed to his grievous injuries, turning the case into a murder investigation.
That looked like the back of his head was all disconnected on scene.
Is that one right there on the forearm? We lost too much of the wire.
Yeah, I will. I have too much time on you, man.
A lot of stab wounds.
I know.
2 days later, during an autopsy, medical examiners will report that Hans died from 17 stab wounds inflicted upon the torso, left arm, neck, and other extremities. Meanwhile, detectives in the interrogation room are also getting closer to unearthing Douglas's motivations behind his appalling actions.
Certain individuals who desire to begin new cults, I like to identify and professionally examine, to see if that is precisely what they're trying to do. If someone is trying to start a new worldwide cult, I will eliminate that person.
Do you think he was trying to start a new worldwide cult?
Yes.
Okay.
That is my standard.
Okay. You think being the leader of a cult, he would have done some really bad things?
There are enough religions on this planet.
Like too many. So we'd be better off with fewer of those.
Yes.
While it's highly doubtful that Hans was indeed starting a cult, Douglas goes on to explain the reasoning behind this horrifying belief and his subsequent decision.
Did he share his beliefs, probably his mythology and stuff like that with you? Did he tell you about that?
To a degree. You tell I'm an atheist and I don't tolerate proselytizing.
Was that what he was doing, proselytizing to you about his beliefs?
Strangely, yes. Man trying to start a new cult. Not the right idea. Tries to reduce all of the world religions to some German mythology. Makes us think like, I don't know, people who understand some mysterious concept are the true rulers of all of the different nationalities, religions, and peoples. And so I'm like, oh, here's a young retard Hitler.
As the interrogation comes to an end, the detective has one final question for Douglas.
After stabbing a guy like this, what do you think would be the right thing to do with you? What do you think the police, the law, the judges, all these people who sit and make decisions about all this, what do you think is the right and appropriate thing to do?
Not sure.
That's my fault. I fucked that up. That's my fault.
Jail, then prison?
Do you think that's the right thing for you?
Yeah.
But if the detectives thought that this would be the last they'd hear of the man, they were in for a shocker. On October 12, 2021, over a year and a half after the incident, Detective Schwicht received a handwritten letter from Douglas while he awaited trial. In the letter, Douglas claimed that he didn't kill Hans and alleged that his old roommate Aaron is the one who killed Hans. Douglas reports that he heard a sound, entered the house, and saw Hans on the floor in his blood. He then went back outside where he alleged that Aaron threatened him and gave him a jacket with some blood on it. After being supposedly traumatized by the events, Douglas claimed to have agreed to take the blame and made a false confession later. When Detective Schwicht interviewed Aaron, he found him to be completely innocent, with no involvement in the crime whatsoever. Not long after his arrest, Douglas Taylor entered into the Idaho Security Medical Program, but on October 13, 2020, after almost 4 months in the program, doctors declared him fit to stand trial. Then on December 15, 2021, Douglas Taylor pled guilty to murder in the first degree and was sentenced to 27 years to life on February 14, 2022. Douglas is currently incarcerated at the Idaho State Penitentiary.
I would like to turn myself in because I'm very mentally unstable.
Okay. And what's going on there?
I murdered my girlfriend. You'll need to use forceful entry to get into the house.
Police! Yep, she's dead. She's right here. We got her.
And then I just lost control. It was almost like something else, like, possessed me. I got to spend time with the vessel that was Shannon, and I got to absorb her spirit. She said, "Are you kidding me? What the Chance? Stop. Wait, please stop. I'm dying. I love you. I love you." And then she didn't speak another word.
This is 27-year-old Chance Donahoe, who only hours earlier confessed to savagely murdering his ex-girlfriend in her Columbus home. But as investigators soon learn, violence was only part of a far more disturbing story, one fueled by control, betrayal, and delusions of power.
So are you, like, as we speak right now, are you feeling like you're a god right now?
I mean, yeah.
The following is based on official police records, and the footage has never been seen before. In the early morning hours of August 29, 2023, a chilling call comes into dispatchers at the Powell Police Department, and it's from Chance himself.
911, what's the address of your emergency? And your name?
My name is Chance.
Okay. And what's going on there?
I murdered my girlfriend. You'll need to use forceful entry to get into the house. I plan on taking myself to the police station after this phone call.
Do you want the police to come to you? Can they come to you?
I would like to turn myself in because I'm very mentally unstable, and I'm worried that I'm going to commit by cop if the cops come and pick me up. So I need to go into the station for my safety and the police officer's safety.
Well, do you want to go ahead and get in your car and go ahead and drive to the police department, and I'll stay on the line?
Yeah.
Chance is confessing to murdering his 29-year-old ex-girlfriend, Shannon Hyatt. As he continues speaking with Powell Dispatch, the call is relayed to Columbus authorities, who quickly send officers to the address he provided.
Caller is in Powell on the phone with dispatcher now. What? He's going to do it. A cop in Powell. Why are we going to Berkeley?
With Columbus officers now en route to Shannon's home, Powell Dispatch continues speaking with Chance, hoping to gather more details.
Do you have any weapons on you, Chance?
I have the murder weapon with me.
Are you able to leave that in your apartment? I want you to leave that in your apartment, okay? I don't want you to take any weapons with you.
Okay.
What is the murder weapon?
It's a knife. Is there any way that I could put it somewhere where there's a child in the home and I don't want him to see it?
There's a child in your apartment?
Yeah, I live with my mother, and she's standing right next to me, holding me accountable for making this phone call. And I just don't want my little brother to see it. He's only 7 years old.
Okay, can we put the knife on top of the refrigerator?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I want you to put it on there, not your mother. I don't want your mother to touch it.
Okay. I'm going to put the knife on top of the fridge. Don't touch it at all. Okay? I'm going to give my mother one last hug before this all starts.
Okay. All right, go ahead and do that.
I'm going to go to prison now.
As police close in on his location, dispatch continues asking Chance questions, attempting to keep Chance stationary until units arrive. But the clock is ticking, and it's only a matter of time before he catches on.
Are you in your car?
Yes, I just turned on my car. Give me a second.
Stay
I
there,
can't really move my hand very well.
You're fine. Stay there for right now. I just want you to take a couple deep breaths, all right?
Okay.
How's your finger doing?
Can't really move it.
How deep did it go?
I'm pretty sure it sliced the ligament.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to send a medic to you first?
No. I'll receive all my treatment at the jail, please, and thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Where are you at in the lot, just parked right in front of your apartment?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I need to bring myself to you, and I don't want to be tricked into being picked up. And so I'm going to refuse to answer that, but I'm in my car. The car has started, and I will not disconnect this call until I reach the jail cell and you have spoken with an officer.
Okay.
Verifying that. I am not safe.
Okay.
I am not a safe person right now, and the safest thing is for me to turn myself in at a jail.
Okay.
Not be picked up, because if guns get drawn on me, I don't know what I'm going to do.
As the call continues, Chance leaves the apartment complex and begins driving. But Powell officers have found him, and they're closing in fast.
I left the apartment complex, but I need to pull over real quick and put the address in.
You left?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you at?
There's a cop right behind me, and I know that I'm being followed and everything. If you have this officer on dispatch, I need you to tell him to just follow me to the police station.
Can you just pull over and let him put you in the back so he can take you to the police station? It'd make it so much easier, Chance.
How?
It would just make it be done right now.
Okay.
Okay? Can you just pull
Okay.
over right now?
Yeah.
Thanks to dispatch stalling Chance's departure, officers were able to intercept Chance less than half a mile away from the address he left from. He turns at an intersection and pulls over into the Sheetz gas station, where the police make contact for the first time.
Can you make commands? Because you probably can't hear me on this side.
Can you put both hands out the window for me?
I got both hands. Well, his hands are back in. Put your hands out. Keep them out. Keep your hands out.
Take one of your hands and open your car door. Open the door from the outside. Face away. Face away. Keep your hands above your head. Slowly start walking backwards.
Walk back towards me. Back towards the sound of my voice. Keep walking back.
With Chance fully cooperating, officers place him in handcuffs, then shift focus to the vehicle, unsure of what else might be inside.
This side. Doors open. Clear. He's got gloves.
Yep. Blood on it looks like.
You got anything on you, bud?
Nope. I got nothing.
Nothing.
I've got $25 in my pocket.
Okay.
It's secured. There's gloves. Look like blood on it.
Are you injured at all, Chance, besides your finger?
Just a little scratch on this other hand, but
Your other hand?
major laceration on this pinky
When did that happen?
during the attack.
Okay. And you put that bandage on yourself?
Yeah, it's just a napkin and some medical tape.
Officers place Chance in the back of a patrol vehicle and remove his shoes, revealing blood-stained socks underneath. Both the socks and shoes are placed in paper evidence bags as they wait to transfer him to Columbus PD custody. Meanwhile, outside Shannon's home, Columbus officers prepare to make entry, unaware of the horror waiting on the other side of the door.
Can I kick the door? I'm good. Kick the door. Police! Yep, she's dead. She's right here. We got her. Clear the house. Let's go.
That's 11. We're clearing the house. We got one down on the floor.
Did she get shot or did she get stabbed?
Everything has one knife.
Pulled her throat out? Dude, he had to like core her throat out or something.
There's blood in the hallway. You see that?
But I mean, there's a hole.
Struggling.
Hole like this big in her throat.
Inside, officers find Shannon Hyatt on the living room floor, riddled with numerous stab wounds across her upper body and a deep slash across her throat. A large pool of blood sits beneath her, with additional stains splattered across the carpet and couch. She's pronounced dead on scene at 6:18 a.m. Columbus officers relay the information to their dispatch, who then notifies Powell Dispatch that Shannon has been found deceased.
He killed her. Oh my God, it makes me sick to my stomach.
As the weight of the news settles in, Powell officers arrive at the home of Ashley Ratka, Chance Donahoe's mother, where the 911 call was originally placed.
How are you, Mom? Okay. Can I just have you to step out here real quick? Is there somebody else with you? What's up, Pop? Just your... Okay. Is he awake? Okay. I just want to make sure he's okay. That's all we got to do is just make sure he's okay for right now, okay?
Is Chance at the police station now?
We have him in custody, yeah. He went voluntarily. Okay. All right. Hey, ma'am. Is there a knife?
It's on the top, I see it.
Inside the residence, officers locate the knife on top of the refrigerator, just as Chance described to the 911 operator, along with a pile of his clothing next to the washing machine, believed to be the first outfit he had on when he initially approached Shannon's house. Ashley's other son is also confirmed to be safe and sound, sleeping in his room. Chance's mother is later questioned by investigators, recounting the events leading up to the initial 911 call.
He woke me up at like 5 in the morning and said, "Mom, I need to talk to you."
And if you don't want to talk to me, you don't have to. I'm really sorry you're going through this. I really am.
So then he said the knife was in his car. He said his phone was in his car, and he said he was gonna go sit somewhere for a minute and have an hour of freedom. I said, "Chance, you need to just call 911 right now. You need to just do this." So he did.
His mother's insistence may have been the only thing that kept Chance from disappearing. Now in police custody, he's transferred to Columbus PD and taken to the Franklin County Jail, where he would be interviewed just a few hours later.
I had a major psychological break and kind of completely and utterly lost control of my actions, which I know is not an excuse, and I need to pay for my mistakes. Basically, me and Shannon are going through a really bad breakup right now.
Right.
Because I am unable to be honest and unable to not steal and unable to not take advantage of people that are around me. And I took advantage of her a lot. She's been just making all these Facebook posts about our breakup. And
I've read some of them.
She's also come after my mom and stuff. And it's kind of one of those things where it's it's one thing to drag my name through the mud. You can take all my friends. It hurts. But I just kind of lost it whenever.
That would be frustrating and hurtful, right?
Saying things like me and my mother's relationship is extremely inappropriate, implying that we want to have sex with each other, and disgusting. Are you serious right now?
Did that piss you off?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, what
you have the audacity to start publicly saying that the reason I date older women is because I have an Oedipus complex. You're only 3 years older than me.
Chance's perspective lines up closely with what his mother also tells investigators.
Obviously, there's not a reason to ever murder someone, but this girl has been messing with him pretty significantly since they've split up, and they've only been split up for a week, but she was a problem. And I anticipated it getting worse before it got better with her, stalking him, and she no longer had control of him. And I think that was making her crazy because she had a lot of control of him before.
We were unable to locate the specific statements both Chance and his mother claim Shannon posted online. However, we were able to locate one post made just 5 days before her death, shared in a Columbus-based Facebook group called Are We Dating the Same Guy?, where Shannon publicly warned others about Chance, stating that he stole my prescription medication and money out of my bank accounts, and also claimed that the money was used on powdered drugs. Back in the interrogation room, Chance begins responding to the claims made about him.
Did you feel betrayed?
In that moment, I felt betrayed the whole breakup.
Sure.
She's been just telling everybody everything, which I'm not gonna lie, I would do the same thing if somebody did that I did to her. But she told me that she wasn't gonna tell anybody about the theft and stuff because I paid her back the money that I took. And the only reason I took the money is because she took my debit cards because she didn't trust me with finances. And I'm not trying to sit here and say all of my actions have a rational and logical explanation, because I don't want to be this way. I don't want to lie, but I don't know how to stop. I don't want to steal, but I don't know how to stop. Shannon thought that the stealing had everything to do with the addiction to ketamine, when in reality, I go through bouts of unemployment because of the nature of my work. Mm-hmm. And so I run out of money. And then Shannon gets, or would get like, really, like, mean and say really nasty things and all this. And so in my mind, just take this money, give it right back to her as your money, so that she shuts the up and everything can be like happy and peaceful, and then just replace the money before she finds out that it was taken.
But for Chance, the theft and online posts weren't the only triggers. There was something else.
She had started sleeping with Matthew, who she had like just recently started being friends with and told me not to worry about.
Who's Matt?
Matthew is somebody that she was having some form of romantic relationship with.
Okay.
I didn't have a reaction to it, honestly. I was just happy that I had what? I'm just happy, like I'm still happy. Like, I don't know, I'm not like happy about it. It's up and it's a horrible thing, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know.
But jealousy and heartbreak were only part of the equation. As Chance opens up, he reveals a fractured state of mind that had already begun to crack.
I have undiagnosed schizophrenia.
Okay.
I have auditory and visual hallucinations. I went to a music festival this past weekend and kept like seeing Shannon everywhere, and I thought that she was like following me around to like.
Weren't you there with her at Legend Valley?
No, not at Legend Valley.
Okay.
Just this past weekend at Wonder Bus. Downtown. I was there and I was working the festival, and she has known about every single move that I've made since we've broken up. Like where I'm at, what I'm doing, who I'm hanging out with, everything. And so like I was getting really paranoid and frustrated because I thought that she was kind of like stalking me. I went directly to my mom's because I just wanted to tell my mom face to face. And I woke my mother up and I said I killed Shannon.
How did your mom take it?
Like, shook, shaken. And then she kept just saying things like, you had your whole life. Anything that Shannon could have done to you, we could have worked through. Like, this was not worth it. Some dumb girl was not worth this.
As Chance speaks of hallucinations and paranoia, his mother tells investigators she'd seen this unraveling begin long before the murder.
He didn't have any medication for the last couple of weeks. He was diagnosed bipolar disease for one thing.
You said he hasn't had his medication?
No, he was on Abilify, he was on Wellbutrin, and he hadn't had it for the last couple of weeks.
I can't tell you why he did what he did. Maybe he told you.
He told me it was like hearing voices and all kinds of stuff like that. And I told him, like, just love him so much. I love my son so much. And I just can't believe this is happening.
I'm really sorry.
I feel so bad for her family too, and even though she was like doing whatever she could to mess with him so much, like she didn't deserve that.
Sometimes you can't control your kids, you know. I mean, he's an adult and he made decisions, and that's not on you, that's on him, you know. At some point, you gotta let them be adults,
I
right?
have, and I've done that. I've played that card, I've done every single thing. I've tried to do it all. He's been in and out of counseling since he was like 4 or 5 years old.
What his mother could only fear, Chance now begins to admit in chilling detail.
I was just kind of driving around because I just didn't really know what to do.
When was this?
This was at about like 11 o'clock.
Last night?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just driving around between like 11 and like midnight.
Okay.
And just kind of like trolling around.
This is confirmed by Shannon's front porch camera as it captures Chance's car driving past around 11:11 p.m.
And I thought to myself, I should check myself into a mental hospital. Because I'm not really all that safe. I actually just like drove by her house before I like went back to my mom's house and changed into clothing. And I saw a van, and then I saw a person that looked like Matthew leave, and I just kind of didn't think of anything about it because I didn't know what kind of vehicle he drove.
So then you drive?
I just drove by because at first, like, all I wanted to do was just like knock and talk. But like, I don't know. I know like this doesn't make any logical sense because knocking and getting the police called on you and getting a trespassing charge is far less severe than getting a murder charge. But sure. I just like, I got to spend time with the vessel that was Shannon, and I got to absorb her spirit and get some of her back.
We have some video like from the neighbors, like cameras or video systems, and it looks like you had walked up to the house maybe with like a t-shirt on initially.
Yep.
Does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
Around 11:57 p.m., a neighbor living next door to Shannon's home catches a glimpse of Chance walking through her yard and across the driveway, unknowingly capturing a critical moment just before the murder takes place.
That was the time that I like drove past. And was like, saw the van, was trying to like work up the nerve to like go up to the door, but like didn't really know what to do. So I guess I don't know why, but I was just like, why don't you just like kind of just like see if she's even like here. And so I peered into the garage window to see if her car was there, and then I tried to see if I could see what room she was in without her seeing me on her cameras and stuff. And then I didn't see anything, and then whenever I left, I was like, you need to just go home, and you need to just give your mom your car keys, and you need to check yourself into a psych ward.
So when you walked up to the house 11, whenever, you hadn't planned on hurting her at that point?
No, not at all.
Had you seen Matt yet, or?
I saw Matt whenever I was actually just about to come around the corner to try to like knock on the door.
Okay. Did he see you?
No, he had his back to me and he was coming out of the door, and then I got spooked and ran off. I had like this weird thing that was just like, well, if you want Shannon back and you can't get her back, you can like take her life force and then you'll be together forever. And so like I went home and I changed my clothes into all black, and I grabbed a knife and I went over to her house and I approached the door, which I'm sure you'll see on her doorbell camera, Ring camera, at some point throughout your investigation. I twisted the doorknob. She screamed, "I will call the cops." And I slammed my shoulder into the door 2 times. After the first time she said, "Are you kidding me?" Because I think that she thought I was just being obnoxious and pounding on the door or something. Or honestly, I don't even know if she knew it was me until I got into the house, because I had a bandage on my face whenever I was outside. And then the second shove gave way and I didn't make a noise. I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. I just started stabbing Shannon, and she didn't even realize what was happening until I had stabbed her a couple times. And she said, "Are you kidding me? What the Chance? Stop. Wait, please stop.
Suspect is in custody.
I'm dying. I love you. And then she didn't speak another word.